Welcome to the Land Chat Podcast.
Here we go.
We're back. We're back down to earth.
We're back down to earth for another episode.
Or a flat or a round earth. Yeah, whatever you think.
Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed our last episode with Matt and Kenny. Thanks again, Martin, for your participation.
Yeah, we had some really good feedback.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, really good guest he was, wasn't he?
Yeah, so maybe if Martin has any other weird and wonderful things to say, we can get him back on the show.
Yeah, I really enjoyed speaking to him, actually.
Okay, so anyway, nice sunny day today.
Yeah, lovely.
And we're in here doing a bloody podcast. What we do for you
hot
people,
in
huh?
there.
Things we do for you guys.
It's hot, man. So everyone's been avoiding the TV for the last couple of days, yeah?
I don't know why. What's happening, Tom?
God knows. Two chavs on benefits. Freaking got a wedding paid for them, didn't they?
That old chestnut is it?
Yeah, we won't talk about them. That's far too much. That's far too. We've given them too much of a platform already.
That's yeah. No, we're just looking for all the latest news and all that kind of stuff. And I know Laurel or Yanny's been kicking off.
Yeah, what is that? I've seen it everywhere.
So basically, Laurel or Yanny. If you go on Facebook, there's like a video, and you play the video, and it's like this robotic voice, saying a word.
Should we try and find it?
Yeah, I can play it. I think.
Yeah, let's try and play it.
So I go right. So anyway, okay, I'll just basically go over this.
I've heard this actually. Yeah.
So it was a similar thing with the dress.
Yeah, I
you know?
saw that. Yes, yeah. The one that was clearly blue.
I can't remember which colour I saw.
Gold or blue, wasn't it?
Yeah. It just sounds just like to fuck with your head. Anyway, so this is. I'll try to play on here. Hang on. Now that's interesting because when I first heard
I heard Yanny.
Laurel.
Well, all I heard is Yanny.
But the one I heard, it said Laurel. I just listened to that and it says Yanny.
No, I heard
Yeah,
Laurel. That was quite. Well, you heard Laurel then?
Play it again. I heard Laurel.
That was blatantly Yanny, though.
No, I heard it the other day on the radio, and I heard it saying Yanny, but that one then to me sounded Laurel. Laurel.
What?
Laurel.
No, Chris,
It just said Laurel then at the end.
Tommy said Laurel
They
3
said
times.
Yanny.
Tommy said Laurel. Laurel. Laurel.
No, that said Yanny.
Tom, I
Yeah,
said
no.
fucking-
I can actually. I may be one of the few people in the world. I can actually hear both.
I clearly
can
heard
actually-
I did not hear
Yanny.
Yanny then at
No,
all.
It did,
The
quite clearly.
initial tone is like, "Nyeh," and then you go Laurel at the end.
What?
Yeah.
Nah, that said Laurel.
No,
Listen,
sorry
boys.
guys, that was Yanny.
Laurel. Laurel.
No.
Laurel.
Yeah, no, fuck
That's
me, I can hear
Yanny.
the two. I can hear the
guy,
two.
that's Chris, that's clearly Yanny.
Tom, that's clearly not
Boys,
Yanny.
I'm like
You're wrong.
I'm like 1%
You've
of the
broken it.
population.
You've broken
I
it.
can hear the two. Can you hear the two?
No, I can just hear the one
I'm
very
gonna
clearly.
bring up that other thing.
So this is going round just like that
So this
dress
has got
thing,
out.
yeah.
It's something to do with. Well, it has a lot to do with the speakers which you use to hear the word.
Yeah.
It has a lot to do with that kind of quality of sound.
How did that fucking say Yanny?
Because
Chris, it
it's
did.
saying both the words
Yes,
at
it
the
is,
same
yeah.
time. Now, depending on and your age plays a big factor on this.
Yeah.
Me and Tom, though, we're twins.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That is. And you
Yeah,
hear
but
different
I
things.
blatantly heard Yanny.
Yeah, but I
Is
blatantly...
he Yanny?
It's both. It's not one or the other. It's both.
Well, that's what I heard. Well, we'll leave it to the viewers. What did everyone else hear?
That was bloody...
I think everybody's pretty sick and tired of hearing it. Laurel.
I've seen it.
Yanny.
I'm trying to... Oh, this is the picture there of the blue... have you seen it? The dress?
The famous blue.
So this is the famous blue dress one.
Well, I am colourblind and
Oh,
there's,
right, yeah. Probably
James-
not the best
to
bit of
James'
the
black
screen.
to me.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Look, so you look at it and you say, is it... Well, unfortunately, this picture's got a blue
Yeah, it's got
illusion on
both.
it. It's got both of them on, so it's a bit
that's
stupid.
awful.
But, like,
Yeah.
sometimes you look at it and it looks gold, and sometimes you look at it and it looks blue.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing how like
It's all about how your brain interprets the sound
individuals
as well, isn't it?
perceive things differently. That's why you can't trust like witness reports.
So I
or-
tell you what it is. It's if you've been abducted by aliens or not, and they've given you no
There
clue.
we go. If you've been probed.
Yeah.
It's
Because
interesting.
you're screaming, Laurel!
Yeah.
Laurel!
Stop, Laurel.
Stop Laurel in my arse and holler.
No, it is interesting because, like, I've been places before and something's happened, and like, yeah, like you have different interpretations of what happened, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Like you've both seen the same thing. I remember before when I used to work in a bar, right, in university in Southampton, we saw this attack, right, this girl was battering the crap out of a bloke. Did I ever tell you about that?
No.
She was battering him for about 5 minutes, so we called the police. I don't know what happened, but she was laying into him. He was in a doorway, and I don't know what was going on, but he was being really passive, and he was like, "Oh, stop it." She was punching him, kicking him, headbutting him, and all that. And like she was properly battering the crap out of him. And then in the end, he punched her, knocked her out, and then he got arrested, which I felt was unfair. He was battered. Like all his shirt was ripped, blood everywhere. But anyway, right, there was loads of people outside watching, and then the police come. We were watching through the window, and the police come and asked what happened. But it was interesting seeing everyone's different version, because we all saw the same thing, but everyone's version of what happened was fractionally different, which was quite interesting.
I know in one of the jobs that I done in the past, and what I need to do is get reports about incidents and things like that. And it's really amazing. You have like one incident going on, and you have like 5 different events, and all the people there. No one was lying. They're just saying their own little version of what happened.
It's interesting.
It's so fucked up.
Well, it's influenced on loads of things. There's so many factors, isn't
It's
there?
just
like
how you
personal
perceive something, how it goes into your brain, and how you digest that information. Yeah, that's why you have like Chris mentioned aliens. You like all these kind of abduction stories and eyewitness accounts and all that. That's why they sometimes vary.
Yeah.
I mean, there was that social experiment then, wasn't it, where they asked somebody to pretend they seen like this UFO, and in the end they started believing they actually saw a UFO.
There's a really good story. There's a really good book that I read, and I didn't write it. And it's a Michael Shermer, and it's really good actually. You should watch it. It's really light-hearted, and it's really like an interesting read. And it's called Why People Believe Weird Things, and it talks about the power of suggestion.
Yeah, it's massive.
And there was, I can't remember where it was. I think it was Chicago, and this woman
Chicago.
I know, I'm sure I've got that wrong actually, but anyway, this woman, she claimed one night that someone broke into her house. They gave like this gas in her face, which knocked her out, and she was raped.
Or by aliens, or by just normal people?
No, just by a guy. No alien.
Randomly.
No, this is not to do with aliens.
Whenever Chris says thing like, "Where's the aliens?"
I missed that. But yeah, go on.
And anyway, within a few months, there was hundreds and hundreds of reports within the area of the same thing. And actually, this woman, through regression and stuff like that, actually, she was like sort of like had this sleep condition, and she dreamt it. But all these people, through reading this story, had gone and reported that they'd been raped, and they'd had this like stuff. Maybe they were, but I mean, it was the initial account wasn't real.
Thing is, that would be a massive coincidence if that was a
But it's the
power. A little segue there, Tom.
Yes.
It's the power of suggestion, though, isn't it?
Get better this segue.
Well, we are, guys. Well, talking about coincidences, right? This is coincidental. James should mention it because I was I went to a works do on Friday, right? And I used to work in this hotel for years and years. Yeah, it wasn't that bad actually. I've got to say they done it okay. And what was weird, right? When I left this hotel, the last day of work, the last person I ever saw was this manager. And he was in reception, and he said goodbye, thanks for everything, shook my hands and stuff. So the first time I walked through the doors, who should be there? That manager.
Who?
I'll tell you later.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, it ain't gonna mean nothing to no one else, is it? So who should be there when I first got there was this manager, and he hadn't been there in years, and he had just popped in to use the toilet. How weird's that? So I just gone in, and I said to him, "Oh, you're still working here, are you?" And he's like, "Oh no, literally, I haven't been here for about bloody almost 10 years now."
Was it expensive there?
Yeah, it looked completely different.
That's the shit, though. I actually do like going to hotels. Like me and Nick got married a few years ago, and we went back to the hotel for our anniversary and stuff like that, just to have a meal there, because they do really good food there. But the prices of food in hotels and drinks,
that's ridiculous.
It's friggin' astronomical.
Yeah, it was. Well, we had a free drink and everyone buggered off. So.
Well, I can't remember. I think like I had like one beer and Nick had a drink, and it was like 18 quid or something.
What?
It was stupid like that. Remember, we went to years ago. We were going to, I can't remember where we were going on holiday, and we had to go from Heathrow, and there's a hotel, the Marriott Courtyard. Marriott.
Yeah, that's the one I stayed as well.
Amazing hotel. Like, this is a different level of hotel, Jim. It's got friggin' trees inside the building. Yeah, it's the dogs. It is, and like you go there, and it's like really upper class. Like, I'm not upper class at all, but like I was like friggin'. We were like the clumps there, me and Nick, dragging our bloody Asda suitcases in there, And it was
Nick, they got a fucking tree. Yeah. Nick, there's a squirrel.
And it was amazing. Like, and what was cool, have I told you how much I love aeroplanes?
Yeah, Chris is actually
friggin' nerd.
He was, well, funny enough.
You're not that guy, you, Chris.
I'm a nerd.
You're not on the wrong way.
Funny enough,
I'm a nerd.
Christopher's he's upset.
Anorak on.
Yeah.
Nothing underneath. Oh, Boeing 747.
Well,
I don't
Christopher's
know much
really
about
upset at the
them.
minute because he's been kicked out of a Facebook
Oh,
group.
yeah.
An
Let-
aeroplane Facebook group.
Let me just...
you, putting
been
you
banned.
posted
Yes.
dick pics again.
How many people would be banned?
Once
from-
you might
Who the
jumbo
fuck gets
jet.
banned from an aeroplane aviation
What
group?
were you doing to get banned then?
I was posting one of our podcasts on there, and
spam.
some snotty bastard was like, "Oh, you're a troll. I don't even know what a troll is, but
Basically, yeah. I think what it is, because what you're posting has nothing to do with
Oh, no, it
that
had
kind
nothing
of
to do
group.
with it,
Yeah,
no.
they deem it as
fuckers.
spamming. Yeah.
James
But
once-
anyway, I love it, and I was like, anyway, going back to my story, in this hotel, it had like the courtyard, and it had like in the restaurant, and the meals were
pricey,
friggin' lush, but it was like fish and chips I had, and it was like 18 quid.
Oh, fuck off. I
18
wouldn't.
Yeah, no,
quid.
and it's
But again,
no,
though,
that's
when you're in
ridiculous.
holiday mode, you're like, oh, fuck it, we'll go to the shop.
I'm
and
still
we'll...
budgeting.
I'm not.
Well, when
but
me and-
wait, Tom, my story's not done.
Oh.
Like, it's not.
Oh.
Fucking hell.
So that was a natural
anyway,
conclusion.
what you could do in this the courtyard Marriott, and anyway, you sit there like in the restaurant. It's got like a glass ceiling. You can see all the aeroplanes.
Yeah, that
literally,
was pretty
it
sweet.
looks like
Alright,
it's going to
yeah.
hit the hotel. And I'm like, by Anorak with my little notepad.
Fuck off,
no,
dude.
no, he's not that bad. But
I don't know that much about it, but like in my garden.
So what is it? You just what?
I just
mean,
love
I know
watching
you
aeroplanes.
guys have travelled. You like to travel.
I've
but-
travelled everywhere, I
So
love
is
it.
it from now you've developed?
No, I think I've just
an in-
always loved aeroplanes. And remember, we had a house before, and anyway, we had this house, and it was like over the flight path. And in the morning, so if it was a clear day, you look up in the sky, and it'd just be lines of aeroplanes. It's quite amazing,
You're just miffed by how they can get up there and they're so big.
It's fucking magic.
It
isn't
is, it's-
Yeah.
yeah.
It's witchcraft.
Going back to what you said about people in anoraks, right? Something like that actually happened to me and Claire because we were going on a holiday, right? And we got lost. We got to Heathrow Airport.
You
but
got so. I tell you should write a book about holiday stories.
Yeah,
I
well,
can fill it.
my
the
luck
thing
goes
is,
bad on
James,
holiday.
you know what
Fucking
it's like when you're younger and you're first together with a couple, and we never had kids. We just took as much because we realised. You just got to take as much advantage as you can. So we went on about 3 or 4 holidays a year,
Yeah.
but then obviously we had a son, so that slowed down a bit.
2, 3 now.
Yeah.
No, well, it's only
Bad
one a
news.
year now, and it seems like a long time since you went away. But anyway,
Yeah.
right, so me and Claire got lost. We got to Heathrow Airport, but we couldn't quite find the airport,
Yeah.
the hotel. And literally, we were in the middle of this blacked out car park, right? And I was like, oh, Claire, I literally, like, we're here. Like, it said the sat-nav took us to this empty car park, but we couldn't find... We could see the hotel, but we couldn't find the road to get there.
Right.
So we're like, well, we're here, but we can't quite get there. Anyway, these 2 blokes jumped out of a bush with cameras. Yeah, with cameras and like
Friggin'
proper
weirdos.
anoraks, like literally anoraks. And they were like, oh, yeah, there you go, mate. Oh, yeah, this happens all the time. You got to go this way, this way, and this way. And they were 2 blokes who were plane spotters. But apparently this really
Why in a
rare
bush?
plane... I don't know. They
they-
come from a bush. I don't
You
know if they
should,
were in
you
the
should
bush.
see on my Facebook
Like the
group.
plane's gonna see him and like
It-
be shy and
Well,
turn
it was-
around.
Let me show you my Facebook
Apparently
group now,
some
how
rare
nerdy this is.
plane, some rare plane that has only ever come to London once before.
All right.
But anyway, yeah, it was just really odd. And I said to him, what are you doing here? And it was... Because the thing is,
I
you
thought
take
you-
photos in the day, don't you?
Yeah, I mean we can't really judge. I mean we all have weird obsessions, don't
Yeah.
we? And
You should,
I've never got it with planes or
Yeah,
trains.
yeah.
I
you don't like airplanes, do you?
Well, it's not like I have a particular interest in it or I don't like them. I just
Yeah.
it's so indifferent.
Look what I
Just-
mean.
Yeah,
Look at-
I'm
look-
the
For
same.
me, it's a plane as long as it fucking works.
Well, there was a plane that crashed in Cuba, didn't there?
Was it?
Yeah, everyone got
we
killed.
went to that airport, didn't we?
And I hate... I'm scared. Despite the fact I like going on holidays, I hate flying, James. But I just see it as a kind of necessary evil. So, but yeah, there was a massive plane crash in Cuba, and didn't like over 100 people get killed?
Yeah.
Oh, I know I did hear about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Dropping
terrible.
another holiday. me, Tom, Claire, and Nick went to Cuba. When did we go?
Oh, I was looking.
Remember
at
that
this the other-
waitress that was like
I
properly,
think it was 2013.
properly shaming us for being twins? Remember every
No.
time we went there in the restaurant, she was like, "Are you?"
How can
two-"
you be shamed for being a twin?
It happens all the time.
Like
Jim.
that big stuff. What do they say?
People.
Shame on you
Remember
for
when
looking
we
alike.
were in college and that girl, every time she walked past us, she went, "Her twins."
Oh yeah, I did that. I
Fucking
remember
weird,
that bit.
man. But we were.
Yeah, people must have seen twins.
It
by
happens
now.
all the time. You not believe
Ah,
how
you two look the same.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe how often people use the same joke. Oh, you look just like it. Are you twins?
It's mad actually, because the more I see you two, the more you look different.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. It's like, yeah.
But anyway, in Cuba, for like, how long were we there? For like 2 weeks, wasn't it? Every frigging day, this same cow bloody gave us this, whispering and pointing at us for being twins.
Oh yeah, I do remember now.
Friggin' hell, we're not
mutants.
Wow.
While we were there, right, Jim?
Powers.
You know when they do, like, I don't bother with the shows. You know when you go on holiday and they have like shows and stuff in the clubhouses
the cabaret and all
or
that.
whatever. We went to this magic trick and it looked quite good. It looked like dangerous and all that. I was thinking, oh, that looks great. All in Spanish.
Oh, lovely.
All completely in Spanish. Now, bear in mind.
Well,
Well, we didn't have a clue. Well, it looked pretty impressive,
Yeah.
but then of course when you can't speak the language,
Are you one of these people, Jim, that just like likes to be in an environment but you don't want to take part in it?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I hate it.
I find myself being drawn in though.
Oh,
Where were we
fuck
to?
that.
I think we were in Tenerife. Mind my own fucking business by the pool. This was in the daytime as well, and they had some type of like act that was walking around doing all these little tricks, and he was kind of like a Charlie Chaplin kind of dressed guy.
Oh, right,
mute,
yeah.
just all like
He
the
was in the
scratching of
he was
the
in
head and all this kind of
Illuminati,
shit.
he was.
Probably.
Yeah,
And he had this toothbrush, and he was kind of spinning around his finger. Like that,
that's
like
pretty
a
cool.
little trick, and he give it to me to do it, and I worked it out. If you get your finger under the main like the brush,
Yeah.
and then you go like counterclockwise, it'll stay on your finger. So I started
no
doing it, and
way.
he just took it off me and walked off.
Oh, fuck
Get
it.
the fuck with me,
Busted.
boy.
Well, I remember.
we when we were in Cuba. Remember we went?
Boys
Yeah.
all these, by the way.
No, go
Oh,
on,
no.
knock stuff out. And they have all these entertainment people, don't they, around the pool, and they like just want to get you involved.
I
And-
hate
and
that.
to be
I hate
honest,
that. That really
what I like
annoys
to
me.
do, I love to sit back and just take the piss. Do you sit back, have a laugh, don't get involved,
Yeah.
and just say how I could do that, but I can't be bothered. That's
Yeah,
generally what
yeah.
my thing on holiday. But these people want to frigging get you
Yeah, they-
involved in
they-
everything.
they-
We were in
need-
Pendine Sands, and we were dancing, me and Caden. Get all the kids up and all the parents who were dancing.
You can imagine James being the first on the dance floor, can't
yeah.
you? Going like absolutely
I
nuts.
shake my tail feather. And so anyway, so we're dancing on the dance floor, and the dancer just like asking questions. So we put our hands up and all this kind of. And next up, we're on the fucking stage.
Oh no! See,
And then there was me and this other parent and their child. And it was kind of like a Mr. and Mrs. kind of situation where they ask you questions, and I got to get
See,
the same
that's why you
answer
don't
as-
want to be involved
as,
in
as,
anything.
as Caden, of course. So they're asking me a question like, what does Caden really like, to watch? What's his favourite kind of time? And
got them
all
all
these
wrong.
answers,
Got them all wrong.
and he fucking gets them all wrong.
Yeah.
Like, mate.
Never rely on kids in a pressure situation.
But it's shit, yeah.
I hate all that.
Yeah, I'm like that.
I don't like getting
Well,
involved.
there was this
Yeah.
guy when we went on holiday, and I'm not just name dropping all my holidays, but this is when I had
Mention them
loads
all.
of time on my hands, and I had loads of free cash. And I took Nick to Jamaica.
I just did the way you two were like post kids, like I had the money back then
Yeah.
for holidays. Yeah.
But me and Nick went to Jamaica, and Nick, like, she loves getting involved. Like, we're
Oh, she
chalk and
does.
cheese. Anything's going
very
on.
outgoing,
She
very-
wants to get involved, and it pisses me off, And anyway, there's always activities going on, and there was this guy, do you know sometimes you just don't like someone, and he was an entertainer.
You've got to
and
find
he's a
the enemy, haven't
friggin'
you?
It's
arsehole.
it's the extroverted,
Yeah.
cheesy.
I don't mind them, but just friggin' leave me
No,
alone.
and it's like
Yeah.
fuck off, mate. I will
Yeah.
stab you with a spoon.
And anyway, he kept coming up and, do you want to take part in this? I'm just like, me, pretending I'm asleep with my sunglasses on. I'm just scooping everything out. And Nick gets involved in every frigging thing, doesn't she? And anyway, towards the end of the holiday, he had a massive go at me, said I'm arrogant and all that. I just don't fucking like you.
Did you have a bit like the thing song? Did you speak to him at all?
No, just, sometimes when I spoke to everyone. We made good friends and loads of people there.
Chris is the kind of person, right, Nick, who like to make holiday friends.
Oh, we do.
Oh, you're
all
those
the
guys.
time.
You're the holiday friends couple.
And then
Oh, I hate
we
those.
met
no, you do. I hate
You're
it.
so different, and your twins. It's
The
lovely.
funny thing is, though, like
refreshing.
Nick just like I'll go to get a drink, I'll come back, and there'll be like 15 people all just like chatting amongst them, and then I have to get involved. Then
Oh, I am antisocial though.
I'm antisocial.
I am. I know we're doing a talk fucking podcast, but
Yeah, but you do it on
I
your own
don't
terms.
like a lot
don't
of
you?
people
I-
around me.
I think
No.
it's because we're all so busy. When you get free time, you want to just
I
relax.
just want to
don't you?
just not have anybody in my
and
ear.
then you got people in your face. And the funny thing is, like Nick has got a ridiculous memory. She's
Yeah.
frigging like
She'll forget
she's
anything.
like autistic, like with her memory. She's really, really amazing. And one of her things is, if you name her a song, she'll tell you what year it was on.
Wow.
And we were in one of these, in the nights they put on this entertainment stuff.
Okay.
And then what you've got to do is...
Good at quizzes then and all that.
Well, specifically, only on music. And dates.
Is it all genres or mainly like pop?
No, she's quite good with most stuff. So you'll say Michael Jackson beat it, and she'll say that was in 1990. What I don't.
So if I say Cannibal Corpse, I Come Blood.
Probably not.
Know stuff
But
like that.
anyway,
More
and
mainstream,
there
innit?
was this quiz going on, and when you got an answer right, you had to run up on stage, and they give you a token. Then the one with the most token wins like a bottle of, it was rum or something like that. And she absolutely kicked their asses. She did. And
Fair
Nick,
play.
I think it was it was on for like half hour. Nick was just constantly up on the stage saying all the names and all
Fair
that.
play.
See,
And
I
she-
don't
and
get
she won a
involved in
bottle of
none of
vodka
that.
or
I don't.
whatever it
I
was.
go out my way to not get involved. In fact, I get quite nasty when people try and get me involved.
Leave me
And I'm
alone.
not a nasty person, but when you're put in that situation, where were we now? I was just thinking. Me and Claire made friends, right? Accidentally made friends on holiday, which does my head in anyway.
You stalked then, though, weren't you?
Yo,
You're
this
fucked.
is it, and then you just end up spending your
just come
days
across
avoiding them.
really fucking miserable, and nobody fucks with you, Tom. Trust me.
But I do,
Well,
and that seems to entice people
yeah, but
to me.
unfortunately, your partner is not in with you on that.
But
So
Claire's quite
Yeah.
quiet. Like, she's chatty. She'll talk to people. She's not rude, but she's quite quiet. But we accidentally made friends with these people, and then the next thing was
Holiday's over then, innit?
Right? Yeah, well, it was. Well, we were sat
kind of
there.
what you want
and-
to do then. You
yeah,
got to add those.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we just sat there in the restaurant, right? And there was a bit of music on, so we sat there. We ordered some food, and the next thing, there's some people above it, across the way, and they made eye contact. I was like, Claire, don't look at them. Don't just freaking eyes ahead, right? The next thing. They're slowly getting a bit closer to us because they realised we were British as well. This is in America, right? So they realised we were British, listened to the accent. They were getting closer and closer. Next thing, they sat on a bloody table, didn't they? Oh, you going to eat that? Honestly, we did.
What?
We had some sushi. No, we ordered some sushi and it was horrible. So I left it in. The guy said, "Oh, you ordered that. You're not eating it, are you?" So I have it, mate. It's horrible. The next thing, we're meeting.
Would he eat it?
Yeah, he had it.
Weird.
Shall I tell you the funny
Wait
thing
there,
is...
wait there,
Oh,
wait
go on,
there.
sorry.
The next day, we're meeting them for breakfast. We're going out for breakfast with them as
You're
well.
like, how the hell did this happen, Claire?
Yeah.
I just said no, Claire. So we
Hey,
got
next you're sharing a banger with the guy, and he's like, "You're not gonna eat that, Tom."
well, the thing was, the next day we woke up extra early to avoid them, and then we ended up going out of the hotel early and coming back late just to avoid these
Yeah.
people. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
Claire,
all
like,
good,
this is the lesson learned. We
I
don't
mean,
talk
if
to
a
people.
guy's coming over and he's eating your sushi, like I would
fighting,
be like,
innit you?
yeah.
No, well, I didn't. To be fair, I didn't want it, and they did offer to pay him. I said, "Oh, Claire, come on, we can recoup
That's fucking
some
weird,
money." Yeah?
though.
That's
That's a warning sign for me.
Well,
I'm
that's
quite
what
intuitive with shit like that. I'd be
we
like,
did avoid them.
yeah, I'd be like, no, I don't want to eat it myself, but it's weird you're asking me.
I don't want to eat it, but I don't want you eating
Yeah.
it.
And not just that, you know, when you go on holiday, what I find is like, because we're obviously Welsh, you always find Welsh people wherever you go. And me and Nick, we went on a holiday. I'm not going to say where because I'm going to sound like a dick, but it's a really nice holiday, okay? And
Just say what it is,
Then
it's fine.
we went to Antigua,
Oh yeah.
absolutely amazing. And it was like the beach was literally 10 yards from you have like huts there. And but anyway, the beach it
You
was
don't want to
too-
go all the way to Antigua and sit in a freaking hut, do you?
No, but it was too
Yeah.
hot.
It's
So
a Pizza
everyone goes to the beach, but the beach it was like 36 degrees. It was too hot.
Yeah, that's
So
too hot.
anyway,
That's
me
really hot.
and Nick just stayed by the pool, and then there was like this group of people that just every day. So you have your. You clean you make your
Yeah.
steak, then you put your thing down. That's mine for the rest of the holiday. And
Mine.
anyway, there was this weird girl there, and every time, do you know those people that they want to talk, but they're just waiting for an opportunity to talk?
Just blank 'em.
I know,
Yeah.
but I do. And then I go off and get a drink, and there's 3 people sat on my son now just speaking to Nick then. And I'm like, for fuck's sake. And anyway, what it was, there was this couple from Wales, and we were talking, and they were just got engaged or something. And then the person next overheard that, and they were there, 2 people, which is a bit odd. They went to Antigua on their own to get married in the hotel. And they were just going around the pool asking everyone if they wanted to turn up to the
They're
wedding.
probably brother and sister.
It's something
It was a
really
dodgy
eloped,
incest
yeah.
It was
wedding
something
going
really
on.
weird. But what was cool about it?
Our
then-
mum and dad
Wait,
won't
did-
come.
Did you go?
Well, what was fuck that? I ain't going there. You know me.
Freaking weirdos.
And what was weird about it was cool actually. The hotel. In the night, they did like a special function for them, and everyone was invited. So it was wicked because like in the night, everyone just basically went to their party.
That's quite cool, though.
And
But it would be weird having photos of people you'll never meet again.
But the annoying thing was, right, right, and anyway, we made friends with this group of people, and it turned out it was really fun. So my anti-social ways sometimes doesn't always pay off. And they were really, really, really funny. And we had a real good laugh for the rest of the holiday there, because there was loads of really interesting people. One guy I was speaking to, he had something to do with the military in the Middle East, and he was really massive, though. I was really surprised that he was in the internet.
Don't get me wrong, I've been away, and we've talked with people on tables and stuff, but
you don't mind that.
I'm like in and out. I don't want to fuck around with that. I got a book
But again,
to read,
though, it's my
I got
downfall.
a time to consider. Being a pasty guy, you really got to think about your
you've got to get on that early straight away.
You can't fuck that shit up. You'd be naffed.
But the annoying thing was then, when we went to the party, because I gave the impression I was a little bit sociable, everyone...
just giving up those wrong impressions.
Don't want to give out them vibes.
People then...
You're like, I'm sorry, did I give the impression I wanted to fucking talk to you?
But then people then were coming up wanting to dance and stuff like that, and I'm like,
that's
for
just
fuck's
too much.
sake. But it was funny because me, there was this Irish guy, this Welsh, it sounds like a joke, this Irish guy, this Welsh guy, and this guy from the Middle East, who I guess he was English or whatever. Yeah. Because they were real good laughs, actually. And there was one pool table, and we were playing pool, and I'm not very good at pool, I'll admit that. But these guys were the worst pool players in the whole universe. And there was...
You're like Paul Newman as you were striking that ball.
we did doubles, right? We did doubles, and it was me and the Welsh guy against this Irish guy and this other guy, and we were playing this one game of pool for about an hour and a half. I'm not joking. People were actually...
So like a pot of ball.
By accident, no, I couldn't pot a ball because they were so shit. They were just snooking me all the time.
How does that work though? If you're right,
they were just so shit. I could, and not just that.
They could be really good. I mean, because to snook your opponent, then again, you got a pot of ball in the process.
No, they were terrible. And in the end, I do think I potted I think they might have potted one ball, and I potted the rest of them in an hour and 45 minutes. And people were all just around the table laughing their heads off at us because we were so shit. What it was cool though, because there was lots of Canadians and American girls there, and they were bringing us over loads of shots and that. Because we were so...
they weren't paying though. It was all
all like free.
When you're all inclusive, you're generous, aren't you?
So you're crap in the beginning, and then you're getting pissed slowly.
And we were getting even
no
worse.
wonder nothing was getting fucking potted.
And there was this other Irish guy. And he was
funny as well.
And he got like a microphone or whatever it was from somewhere, and he was like commentating on us. And he was like, "I'm sorry, this is the worst game of pool." And in the end, we just all walked away because we were so embarrassed.
Well, guys,
every ball on the table.
Yeah, I heard.
But anyway, I love holidays.
A guy who I work with. I'll say one more story, then we'll change the subject. We've been going on about for ages. There was
half hour in, boys.
Yeah. Oh wait,
we get a bit carried away, don't we?
Half hour in.
So there was a guy who I work with, right, and he made friends on holiday. And then they started ringing them up every year saying, are we going back there? See? And they booked the holiday expecting them to go as well.
Yeah.
So they were ringing up saying, right, we got our holiday dates. We'll book it. We're going back this room. If you let us know what room you're going to be in, we'll book next door to you.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, honestly.
See, this is what you do. And the worst thing is,
you don't get involved in that.
I think as a guy, there's an agreement. We're friends for this very short period of time. I might have a drink with you. I might have a few jokes with you. But that's as far as it's going to go, isn't it? And then you get the Facebook request.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, this guy had to change his number. He changed his landline. This was when people had landlines. He changed his landline to avoid these people.
See,
weird.
That's
weird.
So
weird.
My plan: don't speak to anyone.
Yeah.
When you're on holiday, keep.
We're going to IB for this year. We're going to be very insular. Just only talk to family. Don't make eye contact. We'll be that family. Anyway, so guys, changing the subject. We briefly mentioned it earlier, right? There was a guy. Right, listen to this. We talked the other week about Scotland, the cost of alcohol going up in Scotland.
Yeah.
Well, right, listen to this for a mental story. A guy drove 300 miles to evade the new minimum price alcohol.
Wow.
So he went all the way to So Craig Mitchell, this is from the Mirror, by the way. Craig Mitchell from York, Glasgow, drove to Carlisle in North England to get his hand on his favourite Hawks Ridge cider.
Wow.
Right, so listen to this, right? So
how much did he say? Go on.
No, well, I got the stats here, right? So, this is quite mental, right? So, the drink used to cost £2.15 in Scotland. How much do you reckon it went up to?
Oh, probably about £5.
$5.75.
That's
a lot.
That's
a massive
jump. Ridiculous, yeah. It's like double, yeah.
So, he basically went all the way up from Scotland to, where did I say again? Carlisle. And he spent £100. and he saved 180 quid. But then again, he had to pay 70 quid in fuel, so he still saved like 100. I don't know. It's 110 quid. I'm going to work out how many bottles he had.
They've solely increased the price of alcohol in Scotland because of the clear issues with alcoholism in Scotland and
100.
I got a story actually about Trump in Scotland.
I want to figure out how many bottles you got.
It's so stupid though, isn't it? Because when you think it is true though, I always think it's really crazy when you go into a bar and you can buy a bottle of beer cheaper than you can buy a soft drink.
Yeah.
I think that's stupid.
Guys, 46 bottles he bought of cider.
But surely you could.
But surely his epic Lord of the Rings fucking quest to find cheaper beer is a testament to how bad the fucking drink problem is in Scotland.
He's
Do you
a
know what I mean?
stereotype.
It's stories like that that make you think, fuck,
Probably
triple
right.
the prices. You know what I mean?
You'd have to go even further then.
That's really bad.
He'd
Why
become
don't you
down
just
to
order
Cardiff.
like a crate on Amazon?
Yeah. Probably get some
Dunno.
import duty tax over.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck that!
yeah.
Yeah, but okay, you buy 1,000 bottles for like 500 quid.
Yeah, but how did you work that out? What's that
No, I
based
don't know.
on?
Whatever it is though.
Yeah, but again, it's clearly a fucking issue if Scottish people are travelling to England.
He probably
They're
was
willing
one
to
of
go
those
that far
blokes.
just for a bottle of
He's
cider.
probably one of those blokes. I think it's a funny ass
Probably why
story.
they want to get back into the EU.
Yeah.
But he's
Or in the
probably,
EU, I stay in the EU, I should say.
he's probably just one of those blokes who got loads of time in his hands. He's like one of those guys in a pub, isn't it?
Hopefully it's a rare story. Hopefully that's a rare story. That's sad times. It's funny, but it's sad times, isn't it? You got a clear issue with fucking alcohol.
Where have you been? You're not going to believe this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going down the
I've got
shop
a
to get some
bag in, love.
cider. Imagine that.
You know, I've got a bag left. You've been away for 2 days. I know, but I got
Remember
a bag.
though when me and Tom went away? I'm not going to say because I am quite conscious. People.
There we go. We should do a how many holidays are mentioned in an episode.
Yeah.
People have been commenting about all our holidays, and I haven't been on a holiday for like 2 years now. But it's just
Really?
reminiscing
Chris
on
hasn't,
my
so.
whole. Well, yeah, because my son's little and it's a nightmare to get him anywhere. But now he's a bit
Yeah.
older, we can travel again. But then our daughter's little, isn't
Oh,
she?
mate.
So. But when we went to Cuba, remember, and we went to this rum factory, and we were there, and this guy was like, "Oh, this rum's really good. You should buy as much as you can. It's really cheap here." And like in Cuba, one thing people always tell you need if you need to buy here because you can't get it anywhere else. Actually, it turns out you tell the truth.
Yeah,
So
it was.
we bought this bottle of rum, and what was it, like £4?
Yeah,
£4
that was
maybe?
I think it was $4.
$4. So what? £3 or something like that, $3.50, whatever it was. And it was lovely. It was like, oh, it's so nice. It wasn't like drinking alcohol. It was really strong. It was like 60% or something, was it?
It was
But
nice,
it was you could drink it straight. And in the morning you feel pissed, but in the morning you just don't wake up with a hangover. And anyway, I had a bottle. Well, we bought 2 bottles. It was lovely, and I wanted to buy another one when I got home. So I thought, oh, this is amazing. How much is the bottle?
What? So getting over here?
Yeah, to buy in the UK.
Oh, I reckon 20 odd quid.
What was this? 60 quid?
Fucking hell.
65
It was
quid,
very
something like that?
expensive. Very expensive.
And the guy was saying when we were there, buy as many bottles you can
Yeah,
in the
he
UK.
did
they're
actually. But then you kind of
expensive,
think they're
but
trying to fleece you,
that's
don't
it.
they?
You could just fucking make a fortune.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. This stuff. If I ever
What was
get a
it called?
bottle, what's it?
Legendaro.
Legendaro. What number
Legendaro.
was it?
I don't know, Legendaro.
They have
but
different
it's
numbers,
really,
you see.
really good
Do you
stuff.
boys like whiskey?
No, I'm not a whiskey
Nah.
man. I'm not a big drinker, am I? So
We went on a stag do before to Scotland, and remember we were all.
we went to a
went
whiskey factory.
tasting.
That was all right. That was.
Do
And you
try?
could, you could actually see that was the one time I enjoyed whiskey, and you could actually they were explaining how different parts of Scotland the whiskey tastes different.
You like space side and all, don't you? And,
Yeah, well, it's all to do
Oh,
with
look at that! It's come down a bit in price.
the salt
that's it, Jim.
content. The
We need to do a special one day, and then we're just gonna have a few drinks.
Oh fuck yeah!
Should we-
Brace
should-
yourself,
well,
people.
we'll have to have the day off next.
Yeah.
the day
I'll
after,
get twatted and do a
Right,
podcast.
We'll do a podcast
But
on
it was-
Legendaro. If
But it was
anyone wants to
really
supply
good,
us with
Jim.
some.
Yeah, we'll buy some.
Yeah.
Buy some. Put an order in.
Yeah.
Should I?
Yeah, put
I'll
an order
get
in.
some,
Put an
yeah.
order in now.
Should I get
Right?
some? Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'm
Anyway,
gonna do it.
right, so Jim. So we went to this this whiskey factory, and I don't drink. You know, well, I'm a social drinker. I have one, but actually, Friday was the first time I drank this year. I haven't had any drinks this
what?
year.
So you don't have like a beer with sometimes?
No. If I'm out, I will, but I don't drink. I don't really drink at all. But anyway,
But do you drink like? I mean, I don't get wrecked, but I like the odd like.
no,
Friday night I got in. It was a cold bud in the fridge.
no.
Oh,
Well,
well,
we had
lovely. Do you ever
well,
get that? Like, oh, I really fancy a
put it
cold
this way,
beer.
Jim.
Last night I had 2 beers.
Ooh, look at him.
But I'm not a drinker, you know.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
but I drink it because of the taste of it. Not, Not to get pissed or
I had a
suppress any inner anger or turmoil, just to have a nice sip of a beer, like, you know.
Remember I had a party Christmas Eve, didn't I? Remember I had everyone around, and I still got alcohol left from then.
Yeah. Well, no, I've got. I was bought whiskey for over Christmas and for my birthday last year. I've still got that in my cupboard.
But these are like bottles of beer, which just haven't been touched.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a beer tonight. I'm gonna have a beer today, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna have a beer today, Jim.
When I get in, I think. Thanks to Chris, Tom's boss, Chris. Thanks, Chris, for that.
It's good of him.
Yeah, we did a video for Tom's Works, a corporate video for.
Yeah, it was good. Well received.
So loads of fun and went down well, I think, Tom.
Yeah, so Whiskey Factory was great, Jim. It was good, and I'm not a drinker, but I could, you know, when you do these things, people go, "Oh, taste this. Look, you can taste the heather in the thing," but you actually couldn't you?
It was
you
nice,
could.
There was definitely a different taste.
There are.
For me, it wasn't.
It's funny with whiskey. Like some whiskies, perhaps more blended malt, you're supposed to add a bit of water to it, not dilute it. But then also it's a good idea. My brother had a bottle of, I think it was Laurel. And it was quite a bitter whiskey, and he spent about £50 on the bottle. He's like, I don't like it. He opened it, he had a glass. Oh, it's disgusting.
Oh, he's loaded, is he?
And no, he just really likes his whiskey, and so he left it. And then about 2 weeks later, he said he thought, I'll just, you know, it's a lot of money to spend on a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
How much did you pay for it?
About 50 odd quid.
Bloody hell.
That's a lie, isn't
Yeah, it was more expensive than that. Whiskies.
Well, so, yeah.
Far more on it. Anyway, so he poured himself a glass again. Now, because the air got to the bottle, it kind of to change the bitterness and soften it, and it become like almost like a chocolatey,
that's weird.
treacle-like kind of taste to it.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it may sound sad, but he had a glass. But the aroma that was left in the glass was delicious. Like, and he actually gave it to me. He goes, "Smell this glass." I said, "What is it?" I was like, "Fuck me, it smells." He goes, "That's the whiskey."
Do you like a whiskey, don't you?
I do enjoy a
whiskey. You do
whiskey.
like a whiskey.
And I had a glass of it. Oh my god, it was brilliant. But
I might have a drink tonight. I got some beers in the house.
It's a funny thing, whiskey, like, and there's a lot to it than just opening a bottle of neck in it. And you know, people have their ways they drink it enough. I know people who put fucking lemonade in it. They need to be burnt
and a lot of people put soda water, don't they? Soda water.
Yeah, you can buy these proper droplets for whiskey. You add like a drop or two of water.
There was a guy
kind of water you would add to it.
Like it was tonic water and stuff like that.
Yeah,
there was a guy my parents used to look after, and he was like, "Oh, lovely bloke, this eccentric millionaire." And every night I must have a nightcap, and he'd always have whiskey, and he'd have, like you said, one of those. But he'd spend hundreds on a bottle of whiskey. Yeah, like hundreds and hundreds.
If I had many boys, that's why I'd have a big library with a roaring fire, cabinet full of whiskeys and fat fucking Cuban cigars.
Well, funny enough, I smoked a Cuban cigar when I was on holiday.
You enjoy it?
No, it was horrible. Oh, it was a horrible one, Jim. But I don't smoke again, do I?
Yeah, so but it's always nice to have that with a proper drink.
No, we did. We had the rum.
You had the rum with it, did you?
Yeah, so it was nice. Like,
see, you know, people have it with all types of spirits and all that. But I had this. I think it was a Nicaragua. Or something. You're going to buy it now, are you?
He's buying it live.
Chris, talk about alcohol here. Chris is buying the rum.
Legendaro.
But so I had this cigar, but I tried it with dark fruit cider, and it was the best 45 minutes of my life in terms of enjoying
ever
in terms of enjoying a cigar and you know, a drink that accompanies it, and it was delicious. But again, it's all about flavors. Flavors. But,
there are proper, like my brother James. Another James, he likes to think he's a bit of a wine
expert, is he?
And he's embarrassing. He drank
notes of summer.
Oh yeah, he knows it all. Of course, he's a freaking expert on it now.
Did you wish around the mouth and get a spit bucket?
He's drunk a couple of bottles. He's an expert now.
Echo Falls.
But people like that.
From
Aldi. When I used to work in this hotel, right, the one I went to on Friday, they said to people, "Listen, we need a couple of wine experts, right? So you get an extra 50p an hour." So boom, I was a wine expert. So you had to go on this day's training, right? And you tried all these different wines and that. And then it was saying, it was all I wanted was the 50p extra an hour, Jim. I didn't care about the wine. So they were like, you have to taste the wine. And I think the the idea was when people would say, "Oh, what can you suggest with this wine?" You'd have an informed opinion, and I can taste no different. But anyway, so we had this day off where we'd all try these wines, Jim, and like all these like Zinfandels, and then you'd have this Australian white and red, like South African white and French white. And they all taste exactly the same.
I think it's like an acquired taste, isn't it?
But I think your taste buds, like anything, they would get used to the wines. And then, like, I mean, I don't drink enough whiskey to be like an expert on drinking whiskey.
Yeah.
You know, I can taste some whiskies and notice a difference and a change and all that. But there are guys who literally will let a whiskey sit on their tongue for like a good 3 minutes. This is delicious. I go into the cask that was used and distillery. And
what ruined it for me was when we were 18. Remember, I got really drunk at a friend's house and I drank like half a bottle of whiskey to myself.
Nice.
Yeah, Jack Daniels. He literally got pushed home. He was literally trolleyed.
With a trolley. Yeah,
he was trolleyed.
But I'm having a piss and someone's like holding my.
Chris was having a pee and someone had to help him. Hold his bits, tuck him away.
I was so bad. It was a he as well.
And I literally had to push him home in a trolley.
I just remember waking up at my mate's house the next morning because I was so drunk I couldn't go home. I was 18 at the time.
Yeah, we've all been there. I mean.
And I was literally green. I was so sick. I was frigging
your head's
ill, man.
spinning and you can't.
But I do think that was probably my first hangover I ever recall.
Do you know what makes me feel sick is when I don't eat. If I don't have something on my stomach, I'm guaranteed to spew. Yeah. I'll be fine all night, and then the fresh air hits you. You go outside,
that's the worst,
and then the room's spinning or whatever, the taxi's spinning.
Yeah, that's the worst.
And you feel fucking horrendous, and you get up and you feel worse. I remember going out for a drink.
Yeah.
Right, I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But I didn't eat. And so in a drunken state, I thought, I've been in today, I'll just go and get loads of McDonald's and just shove it in my face. So I ate loads and loads of McDonald's. When I went to bed, I must have spewed in the night because I went to the toilet. It was just plattered with fucking gherkins and fries.
The worst is...
It was horrific. It was like a crime scene.
When we used to go out, like when in the job that I was working in, and we would go out like in groups, for the summer and maybe for the Christmas, whenever it was. And when people start buying drinks in rounds...
Oh, you don't do rounds. You never do rounds.
The worst is when you're in a big group when people start ordering drinks to the table.
I don't.
No, I'm not a round man.
That's the thing about it. Like when I started working,
it's complicated, and you'll get pissed.
No, because you all get
somebody's sly.
Yeah, the sly bastards.
And not just that. We all went to this place. I remember it was in the summer actually, and there was about 25 of us, quite a big group. I mean, we were just ordering like little plates of food and stuff like that. And I think I only ordered like 3 or 4 plates. Like they were only like what were they like?
Tapas.
Yeah, tapas sort of stuff, And I only ordered 2 or 3 plates. They were only like a £5 each, so 15 quid, and a few drinks. So like 25 quid. That should cover it. And the bill came in. Everyone started, we've paid. We'll go to the other thing.
Yeah, of course they do.
I think the outstanding bill. There was like 7 of us, or was it? 7 of us left and we'd all paid, and they were like, there's still like 80 quid on the bill.
No way.
Hell no.
Everyone had like ordered bottles of wine or cocktails, not paid for them, and then just buggered off to the next place. And like I only had like one or 2 drinks there because I was just chatting, and the bill came in and we ended up having to pay absolute loads.
No way, you don't do that.
Fuck that.
There's always a
you can't trust people. You can't trust buggers.
No, you have to say, right, sit.
Yeah.
What did you have?
Well, that's it though. But when
or what I'll do is I'll say to the waitress, I know this is a pain in the ass, or the waiter, I know it's a pain in the ass, but we're going to go around individually and pay.
But the only thing is, when you're in a big group, you don't notice people going off.
Yeah. That's why,
we were talking outside you were, and people were just like going out the other exit. They were paying, and we're going, a text message then, we're in whatever, They're dirty fuckers.
And then people have drink amnesia, don't they?
Yeah.
Where they forget what they're drinking. And
you've seen them. There's a bottle of wine. Pictures of them there with guzzling the wine.
No.
And there's bottles of wine next to him. I don't drink wine.
I hate doing rounds with rounds with large groups. I can't.
No, I don't. I go and buy my own.
My max is 4. That's it.
But the thing is then, Jim, what I dislike, right, when we used to play football and we used to go out with the whole team, it was good. We had team bonding. It was great. But you'd always have 1 or 2 sly bastards who I'll
first
I'll get
round.
the next, go first round.
And then all night then, I got you one and you owe me one.
Or what they do is... everyone will do rounds. They start off
Cakes
rounds.
the boom in it.
They start off with rounds, right, properly, and then towards the end they do like little slide rounds, don't they? Oh no, well I went to get a drink. I went to get a drink and no one was round, so you end up getting a round of you pay for like 11 people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
50 quid for a round, and then you end up no one gets you a drink back, and you're just like.
Because what should happen is you go around, you do a round, right? You only have to pay for one round, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
If there was that many people, you pay one round. That's 11 drinks, like, and that would cripple many a man. But yes, we fell foul of the round system in our football team. But anyway, guys, talking earlier, we briefly touched on coincidences, right? I was, after what happened on Friday, I was thinking to myself, oh, look, that was a weird coincidence. So I started looking into, like, these really weird coincidences. So I've got some absolutely mental stories, guys.
Man.
Hit us up, Tom.
So, right, listen to this. I was speaking to James about this earlier.
Yeah, some
So, like,
interesting
weird things happen in life and very, very strange,
Weird
inexplicable
things happen
things.
when you go to bloody Tesco in St. Mellons. Very weird things. Sorry.
Anyway, go on. So, right, there was a guy, right, 1930s Detroit, a Joseph Figlock. He was walking down this street, right, as you do, probably a nice day looking round. A baby falls from a window and he catches it.
Well,
Like,
Fuck.
that's mental enough as it is. That's the kind of story you tell people and everyone's like, oh, fuck, that never happened.
no
in
one
my
believes
life.
you.
Yeah, and then, so basically, a year later, almost a year to the day, almost, not exactly, the same baby fell out the same window on the same street and he caught it.
Fucking hell.
Whoa.
How mad's that?
Someone's
There's a
playing
lot
out
of
there.
questions,
Tom,
like,
this might be a cake. You're
we've
right
got a big-
answering it now.
there's
Look.
a lot to be said about, like, why
Do you
social
think it's happening there?
Someone's trying to end it in there.
No, I think that kid's getting birthday bumps.
Yeah.
This every year is happening, and it's just fucking his luck. The window's open.
Imagine
Now,
that.
that is messed up.
Imagine that. Like, what are the chances of that happening? And
How
twice.
do you know it's the
You
same
phone
person?
social services, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Come on,
definitely.
Chris,
Well,
you know
guys-
this. If the baby's in front of the window twice,
It's not a coincidence.
it's not a coincidence.
Guys, an even more mental one, right? In 1974, a moped driver in Bermuda was killed after being knocked down by a taxi, right? A year later, a year to the day, the man's twin was riding the same moped. The same taxi driver ran him over and killed him, and he was carrying the same passenger. How nuts is that?
That's a lot.
Some
Do you
could be
reckon
said,
there's
right?
something into that the driver? Though,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
there?
maybe
That
the
is
guy
something
freaking hated the
lot.
family.
I bet you
I
like
don't
there's like
know.
some deal gone wrong or something. He's just wiping the
Or-
family out
See,
one by one.
see, automatically our brains start trying to work out what
Yeah.
the logical, like
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
something was afoot, something was planned. I think sometimes life is just it's got like a sick sense of humour.
Yeah, yeah, like the world is, it's the
Yeah, it's
but
crazy.
mentally,
These
right?
things happen.
Let me throw this weird
Just
one at you.
wait there. Just think though,
Go on.
like thinking out loud, and I was thinking about it as I was writing it down. I was thinking maybe. We're all weird. We all do weird things, and we remember things in different ways. Maybe the brother was just riding the same moped down the road a year later, thinking, memory lane. Oh, my brother died a year. Maybe some sort of, I don't know.
And maybe the taxi driver, oh my god, it's the ghost of the moped I killed,
Well, they must
the
have.
moped driver, he's there. And then,
Well, yeah, and he was carrying the same passenger.
Nah, that's just fucked
that's
up.
mental, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's just fucked up.
Go on, Chris. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say there's this guy, and his name is. I read this the other day. I thought it was really, really. I don't know if it's full of shit. Like, it sounds a bit out there.
Yeah.
There's a guy called Roy Sullivan. So in 1942 to 1977, how many times was he hit by lightning?
Oh, I've read this.
5.
Go on.
It was about 4 or 5, wasn't there?
7 times.
Yeah.
Oh, poor bastard.
Like, what the hell? You're doing
It's
something
like that
wrong,
guy
you.
off The Great Outdoors. You ever seen that? You ever
That
seen The Great
film.
Outdoors with John Candy?
Yes. When they go
And,
camping in it.
Yeah, and he speaks
Yeah.
to the guy at the bar, and he's like, and he's got like this really like intense stutter.
Oh,
and,
right.
And basically he gets like struck by lightning like every year.
Yeah.
Oh, is it in this like the same
Yeah,
day? He just gets it by
yeah.
lightning. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was it.
Oh, that was it. Oh. Didn't that guy, Chris? Didn't his grave then get hit by lightning?
I
There
don't
was
know.
one guy
Oh,
who got
that's
hit.
a piss take.
Yeah.
There's
He
obviously something to
smited
him
some
there,
god,
He's
doesn't
got
he?
some amazing like
Shall I
dentistry that's just attracting. It's like a conductor of lightning.
Yeah. Shall I tell you another weird coincidence? So, because shall I tell you what is a coincidence? I was actually looking up coincidence stories this week.
Yeah, you two are twins. It's like
Yeah, that's
telepathy
weird,
going
isn't it?
on.
And
Look
let
at
me.
that, guys. Actually,
Not really.
is
I
there
don't
like
think so.
telepathy, like kind of?
Sometimes, but then again, right? So this is the thing. if you hang around with, obviously I've known Chris all my life.
Yeah, there's a social aspect to it, isn't it? Yeah.
But
yeah.
you're going to know, like, you know, the more you get to know someone, you kind of know how they'll react in a situation. And that, therefore, you kind of understand.
So it's not really telepathy, it's just...
it's just knowing someone well, isn't it?
Let me tell you then a really weird telepathy story, a coincidence story then. So, adopted 4 weeks apart by different families, identical
I've
twins
read
from
this.
Idaho, were both given the same name, James. So they were adopted by different families, both given the same name, James. When they met for the first time at 39, they both had married women called Linda, divorced them, and both remarried as women called Betty.
See, that's nuts. That's
Their
weird.
sons were called James Allen and James Allen, and they both owned
Real
2
estate.
dogs called Toy. What a weird name for a dog, Toy.
Yeah.
That's
And
weird,
both
yeah.
went into law enforcement schools, and both worked as sheriffs.
See,
Yeah,
that's
that's
mad.
fucked up.
That sounds like that's just
That's
bullshit,
weird.
doesn't it?
No, there are loads of cases you've heard about twins that are separated at birth and they have these weirdly kind of similar lives and all the rest of it.
Well,
Yeah.
guys,
It doesn't always happen, but
Yeah.
there's something to it, do you think?
Guys, listen to this for
I
a
got an
story.
amazing one in a
Listen
minute.
to this for a story,
Freaky,
right?
man.
Now, whether this is true or not, it could be one of those urban myths.
Let me tell you
So-
something that's
no,
true.
wait,
Everyone's
no,
played
wait
cards
there.
with Jesus.
Yeah, once,
would.
right? So there was a mother and son who'd been separated for birth. The girl had a baby really young, and basically he was taken away by social services. They tracked each other down. They were due to meet each other, clubbing in the night. Met this girl, sleeps with her.
Can see what's
It's
going
only
on
his
here.
mum, innit? He meets a girl, sleeps with an older woman.
That sounds
He
like
maybe
bollocks.
had mummy issues. Now I don't know if it's
Well, he
true,
clearly did,
but I
didn't he?
see. I found that online. Now is that true? A true story? I don't know.
That is
But
That
fucking
sounds like
shocking.
something everyone. Oh, I
It's
know
what-
this guy.
yeah,
that
yeah.
shagged his
That's
mum.
kind of like
Do you know one
that's
of those
kind of
stories
like.
down the pub and it's just made
So he
up
fucked his
somewhere?
own mum.
Apparently, if you believe that story, he had sex
That's
with
like
his
a
own mum.
bollocks story that people talk when they're pissed.
Yeah.
Remember,
It
it was
was
that guy
online.
that told us the story, and he was on holiday, and there was a club rep called Two Strokes. Remember?
Oh yes,
Let me
the
tell you this
two-stroke
let me tell you
story.
this story. I think it's a load of bollocks.
I don't
actually.
know.
But let me tell you.
Go on
So
then.
there's this guy, and he was like a party guy.
No,
you
he was
know,
having a house party, wasn't he?
Yeah, quite well known in his area. The local, the guy, the to-go guy, wasn't he? And he was having a house party, and he said that he was. What was the story? He was putting the coats downstairs or something, and I can't remember what happened.
Two people having sex, right?
Yeah, go on. You know it more than me.
So basically, right. So the story. This is the story, whether it's true or not. But there's a guy going around supposedly called Two Strokes, and this is the story. Whether it's true or not.
Okay, go on then.
So this guy's having a house party, right?
Wait,
Takes people's. He's having a
Right.
house party in his house. Takes some people downstairs. Puts their coats up. There's two people having sex. He walks in and the girl says join in. He joins in. Turns round. A little bit later, and it turns out it was his sister. But basically, he had 2 strokes before he realised it was his sister. Now, whether that's true or not.
So he's never met this sister before?
No, he
No,
did,
he's
he
met
just didn't
her,
know it was
but
her.
he didn't know it was her. He was drunk, and
Oh,
he saw
fuck
2.
off.
That's
Yeah,
the
I know,
story.
fuck
Whether
off.
it's true or not, I don't believe that, because when the girl turns around and goes join in, you'd be like, that sounds a lot like my fucking sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're going to see what they look like.
I
No,
recognise that
well,
birthmark on her ass.
Yeah, well, there's the story. It was dark.
That sounds like
it
bollocks
was
to me.
Yeah, whether it's true, but apparently this guy's never denied it, or whether this guy exists or not is
About
another matter.
6
Who
months
knows?
ago, I was reading this book about pirates. I go from topic to topic. I at the moment I like pirates and I like this series anyway. And anyway, this is the coincidence.
He's
that
got a Pirate
I
of the
read
Caribbean tattoo on his arse, Jim.
I got a really good book. I actually went to Jamaica Inn. Jamaica Inn is have you ever read the book Treasure Island? You know the
No.
book Treasure
Yeah,
Island.
yeah.
It's the book where they originally went from.
Okay.
So it's apparently one of the most haunted places in Britain. It's really weird. It's down sort of like Cornwall sort of way.
Yeah.
And it's like this pub, and it's just it appears in the middle of nowhere. But it used to be quite close to the sea, but the sea's receded or whatever it is. And pirates used to go there, and they would go there, they'd fight and they'd kill each other and rob each other and this and that. It's
Have a
absolutely
wait of a time,
phenomenal.
don't
And
This cake's banging.
and anyway, it's like Most Haunted did an investigation. Apparently, it's one of the most haunted places.
Okay,
we
right,
would
get to the point. We know.
anyway. Anyway, and one of these. There was a story that was there.
Yeah.
About this coincidence. And let me tell you, and I read it there, and I've just looked it up online as well. And it says, in 1660, a ship sank off Dover, and the only two survivors were called Hugh Williams.
I've
read this. You've probably heard this. So in 1767, another ship sank in exactly the same spot, and the sole survivor was a guy called Hugh Williams. In 1820, a ship capsized on the Thames, and the only man left alive was Hugh Williams.
We did on the Thames. That's a different place, then, is it? Are these different places?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
So Hugh, and in 1940, a German mine blew up a ship leaving. Two survivors, and a man and his nephew, both called Hugh Williams, survived.
If you're a sailor. And your name's Hugh Williams,
Hugh Williams, yeah. You'll be fine.
You go in all weathers.
And if you're looking at the roster of all people you're going to press gang and force into your ship, look for
Hugh
Hugh Williams.
Yeah.
Should I tell you a really interesting fact I heard about pirates the other day?
Yeah.
Do you know why pirates wore earrings? Why did they wear earrings?
I know.
I know you did. You sent me the link and I read it. No, piss
No,
off.
let me guess.
Piss off. It's my story. Fuck
You didn't send me the link. I knew it anyway.
Oh, you sent it to me actually. Go on.
So why would they wear earrings?
Why would they wear earrings? It's quite an ingenious reason actually.
Is it to carry extra things?
Just get the shopping on
What
each
it
year.
was,
Yeah.
what it was if they were to die, so the gold earring was to be used to bury them.
Just
Oh,
like a
it's like an
currency.
insurance.
Yeah, it
almost.
was actually, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was an insurance. So when he died, so
that's pretty
it was for them to be paid, whoever finds your body, they take your earring, sell it, and bury you with the money.
Well, you just take your earring and
I'll just take your earrings.
Just rip your ear
Kick 'em
off and
overboard.
just
Yeah.
rip your thing.
Guys,
I think that's fantastic.
No,
that
it is interesting. So I got a couple more coincidental stories, right? So in 1895, there were only two cars in Ohio, and they crashed into each other.
Yeah.
You think how big Ohio is? It's massive.
But I suppose though, if you were driving in a car, you probably want to be sort of like around another car, wouldn't you?
No,
But you think that they probably weren't going that
Is there any
fast.
details on all that actually happened?
No, but the chances are it's probably a small road, doesn't it? And
Oh, he's got a car. I've got a car.
yeah,
We've both got cars.
if there's only two cars, it's probably not often they'd be side by side with each other, would they? And one of them probably panicked. But guys, another funny one.
Very silly,
This is
though,
This is quite dark, but so a South African astronomer, Dane de Toit, gave a lecture warning about the preciousness of life and how death can come at any time. Following the lecture, he sat down eating a sweet and choked on it.
Oh no!
Yeah, in front of his students. Do you reckon that's true?
Let me tell you one though. I'm only getting interested in this because I saw once before when me and James were coming back from a flight.
James's brother.
My brother, not James here.
Yeah.
And
I never get invited to these holidays.
I know.
we come back from Sri Lanka. It's a cool flight actually.
Fucking hell, where haven't you been?
I know.
Loads of
I've
places.
never been that
But
far.
anyway, we were coming back from Sri Lanka and we were on this aeroplane and like this, all the crew started running to this guy, and then within a few minutes, then it was like, is there any doctors on board? Or we've got a medical emergency. I'm not shitting you. About 30 people all stood up and went running over to this guy. If you were going
There's
to have
too
a
many
heart
doctors,
attack,
Yeah,
you want to be.
best flight to be
But
on.
let me tell you about this coincidence, which leads on to this story, right? So there was in 2003, a guy called a woman called Dorothy Fletcher. Sorry, had a heart attack on a flight to Florida for her daughter's wedding. The call always goes out if you're on a plane. I'm not sure if you've ever been on one. They say is there a doctor or a medical, anyone that's medicine, sort of like doctor, whatever it is. So all 15 passengers stepped forward, and they were all heart specialists on a conference to Orlando.
Oh, that's
What are the
awesome.
chances of
Hi,
that?
I'm on a break.
Yeah, sorry, this is my day off.
So you have a heart attack, and all the heart surgeons are all so.
Did they survive though?
Yeah, of course.
To be even
Fucking
funnier
told
if they
someone,
didn't.
you?
Right, talking about doctors.
Yeah, go on.
Are you the story about Dr. Dre?
You mentioned it earlier, yeah.
So rapper Dr. Dre loses his trademark name to another Dr. Dre, who's also a gynecologist. The hip-hop icon Dr. Dre's lost a 3-year trademark battle with a gynecologist and sex bird, also called Dr. Dre, spelled differently. but nevertheless.
How is it spelled? D-R-A-I?
D-R-E-Y, is it?
Yeah, so Dre is D-R-E, and then this doctor is D-R-A-I, yeah.
Yeah, but how would that conflict then?
Yeah, I know.
Because it's spelled differently.
He's no
so it's not
Dr. Dre, isn't
trademark.
it?
If I try and read on here, you might hear...
There's going to be loads of Dr. Dre's somewhere, isn't there? And there's probably going to be...
And not just that, you would imagine Dr. Dre's probably got more money than a doctor. I know doctors have got loads of money.
He's saying in a document published by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, he said Dr. Dre argued that his name is in the record industry is sufficiently related to applicants' MP3 files, magazines, audiobooks, and series of books and other types of public performances. I don't know what the
maybe he wrote some
rebuttal
articles
is.
or something. He's an author or something.
But
no, Dre, the rapper, is saying,
Yeah.
"Look, I'm fucking already,
I'm Dr.
like
Dre,
world
yeah.
renowned. Like, you
Yeah.
can't fuck with that shit." But unfortunately, this doctor has actually got his way.
Good.
Um,
Well, that's unfair. 'Cause
So and it's apparently it says the rapper failed to show that a connection would be presumed in the mind of the consuming public when the
Yeah.
applicant's Dr. Dre marks are used in connection with its applied for goods and services.
Yeah, I agree with that, because just because he happens to be a doctor called Dre, does that mean that he can never publish anything then?
Well, he can. He's got to be careful. And the doctor goes on to say, I cannot be associated with anyone that has any kind of misogynistic speech because it's a bad reflection on me as a doctor.
Ooh,
So he went
that
to court.
bit.
I mean, that
himself
guy's
all in
fisting
the
fanny
paper.
all fucking day. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You can
What a
talk.
bitch.
So, do you know what?
Bitchy remark, isn't it?
There's a good story about when the internet was
Poor
first
Dre.
like kicking off, and I don't know if it's true. I hope it is true. But there's a guy, and what he did, he bought all the domain names to all the big,
Yeah, I think it was true.
to
I
all
think
the
it
big.
was
God, I wish
So
I'd done that, mate.
Imagine that. So he went and bought
Yeah.
Nike, McDonald's, Adidas,
Yeah.
PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, and then basically he earned millions just saying, "Well, if you want the
You
.com
gotta
name,
pay
you
me.
gotta pay me."
Yeah.
Hey up, bitch.
Oh, I wish I was savvy back then.
Imagine that though. You know
Do
things.
you know what I mean? You could, that guy was on the ball. Fair play.
But there's probably a few of them, Jim, who were very switched on. You exactly.
It just had the insight, the trader info, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, because we should be on the lookout for the next big thing, like, and just buy names. You know,
Get
the
on
next
him.
social networking app that's going to be out, and just lock ourselves in as Apple or.
That's the
fucking-
danger, though, isn't it? Because everyone thinks it's going to be the next best thing. Chuck loads of money into it. But one thing I was, it was about 2.5 years ago. I was on my way to work one night, and I was listening to Talk Sport.
Talking sport.
Awesome
I like
radio
I
show.
like Talksport.
Good
And there
talk,
was this
yeah.
guy, and he was like a trend sort of a marketer or something. So he looked at the next big thing and looked where investment should be. And he talked a lot about Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
And I
remember
remember he
saying,
was
yeah.
saying, because they were saying, what's the next big thing to? Because they were saying, oh, what about alternative renewable energies or
Yeah.
technology? And he said, yeah, in the future that's going to be a massive industry. Get involved in that. He said, but at the moment, buy Bitcoin. And he was like, well, they were only about $8, $9 each at the time.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, oh, if I was you, any spare cash you got, buy Bitcoin. But it's going to be big in a few years and this and that. And I remember all the people, I'm sure it was Talks, it was some radio station, I'm sure it was Talksport, and they were like, oh, well, it just sounds a bit odd, buying... spending money on
Cryptocurrency,
just
money.
nothing, yeah. But I mean, 25 grand a few months ago, weren't they, per coin?
I heard it was going down the
Phenomenal.
Swanee.
It's
Yeah,
gone down
yeah.
a lot now because they've really, people have, all
I think the
started their
governments have
Bitcoin,
done
aren't they?
really good job, like dismissing it and saying it's just a fad.
I wish I'd have bloody put
Yeah,
my...
but what? How? I mean, I have
Yeah,
no
I don't
idea
know
about
how it
economy.
works.
But how does it gain?
I
How does
don't
it
know.
gain value? How does it go
I
from
don't know
something
how
that's
it
just
works.
created?
Well, it's like anything, though, isn't
Faith. It's faith in
it? It's
it.
faith in it, yeah.
That's why I think there's a strong connection between religion and money.
Yeah.
Because it's just faith. Faith makes it work. It has
That's
no
why we need to-
value
That's
unless
why
we
we
give
need
it
to
value.
build faith in the podcast, in the podcast.
Yeah, faith in us.
Guys, you need to get your investments in the
I
Lad Chat
know,
podcast
invest in
now.
us. We're going to be big.
In 10 years, you're all going to be we will have the last laugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, last funny story that I found. Well, not funny, actually terrifying, I would say.
Okay.
So did you hear this story? There's a cougar killed a cyclist and it was severely injured another guy in Seattle.
Yeah, I heard about
Friggin'
this.
hell,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So these
They
guys...
shot it at
So
him, didn't
cycling at what, in the wilderness
Yeah,
somewhere?
so they were on a sort of bike ride. Cougar jumps out, little tiger little thing, attacks this guy. His mate runs away. The cougar lets go of his mate and goes to the guy that's running away, kills him,
they? Jesus Christ.
and he ran away then. And then he got, I think he got
Yeah, I think they
returned
shot
to
him.
the scene, and there was a dead cyclist and a cougar standing on top of his body. So this guy was mauling him. There's this cougar was mauling him. The police then killed him. How friggin' scary!
That'd be
Shocking.
terrifying, wouldn't it?
I mean, you see a lot of these stories of cyclists in like California
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Canada, and you know, people go out rambling and they get attacked by the wildlife. You don't fuck around in those woods.
Yeah.
You don't.
Don't you feel
Monsters
sorry
live in
for
those woods.
Yeah.
You'll
But
die.
Even in the UK though, there's like it's some scary shit sometimes.
wild cats in the UK?
Well, I used to go to a call to this guy, and he lived sort of just on the outskirts of the city, and it's quite dark where he used to live.
Ely.
And in a really really posh area actually.
Oh.
But and one
Not
night,
really.
you know, I was just putting some bins out as I was leaving, and
Yeah.
I could hear this thing going around like that. It wasn't a cat though; it sounded different. I was thinking it's a biggie. I'm gonna have to start taking Bigfoot on again. Anyways, a bloody fox jumped out of the bins
They can
and
be
legged
nasty
it.
foxes.
You know, it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It was only a little one.
Yeah, but still, they
bigger
can be
than a cat,
nasty,
like.
can't they?
It wasn't a
But
cat.
don't you kind of feel sorry for the cougar? Because that's just doing what's natural to it, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
You can't chase after a cyclist and bite him in the arsehole.
No, I
mean,
know,
all
but
that
still,
flashy
it-
lycre on. I mean, it's just like
Yeah,
you're just
it's like-
saying, "Eat me," in you.
Yeah.
Let's
it's
face
like a
it.
warm meal for it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't
Guys,
know.
a funny, quick little story, right? You know, the other day we were talking about the Kardashians and those stupid jeans they
again.
bought.
I hate the Kardashians.
Yeah, but no, this
I
kind
don't
of
hate them. I'm
leads,
jealous of them.
leads
Sorry.
onto it.
Go on.
I'm not. I'm
Appar-
glad I got a brain.
Yeah,
just
apparently
get a
loads of
fat arse and
people,
earn loads
right?
of money.
Exactly.
Loads of people are getting sunburns. You know where they're wearing ripped jeans?
Good.
They're getting really
Morons.
bad
It's their own
sunburns because
fault
they're
for
not
being
putting.
stupid.
Yeah, but like to be fair, Chris, if you were going out right and it was a hot day, would you think to put sun cream on the bits of your skin
No,
which
but
are
I put
showing?
shorts on.
Yeah, okay then. If you didn't wear shorts,
Yeah, but these morons think they're wearing fucking jeans, right? But they're not. They're wearing shredded up. It looks like a cougar's fucking attacked them.
Yeah,
They're wearing
yeah.
shredded
they
up
would
jeans.
love to be a cougar attack them, Jim.
I know.
But anyway,
I think it's stupid, you know, and that whole fashion thing, and we put it up on the Facebook page,
Yeah,
didn't
hope
we?
you
It's
enjoyed
so
that, guys.
stupid.
pathetic.
Imagine how many pairs of shorts or sun cream you can buy for that. Like, at
I
the
don't
same
get
time.
it though. It's just a waste of
Yeah.
material.
It looks stupid, doesn't it?
There's people in poor countries who have clothes like that.
But presumably,
Yeah.
some,
You're
some
like mocking.
designer.
It's like taking a piss. Like
Yeah.
buy jeans, actual fucking jeans, or wear shorts.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
stringy shit.
I think the part
Yeah.
where you go to a shop, right, and you see it, and then
And like-
you look at it and you think, oh, right, okay, 2-3 quid, that's good. And like $160 or something.
Something like that.
But why are you getting less material?
Yeah.
Well, some
It's ridiculous.
well, presumably, what some designer
don't
would have to do
understand
is
it.
get a pair of jeans.
Yeah.
Slice them up.
Make
Cut
them
'em all
into
out.
normal
Yeah.
jeans and cut them all out.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
point of that? It just
So,
sounds
so you're
too
actually
jeans.
not getting your money's worth.
Mm.
Do you know these stupid these stupid like fads though? They don't last long.
You
and-
could sell string to a
You
dumb
haven't finished
fuck
this, have
from
you?
LA.
Yeah.
No, you could sell
Yeah.
string to him.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
oh, this is the next thing. Just
Yeah.
tie it around your ankle.
Kim
Oh
Kardashian
my
wore it.
god, yeah. Kim Kardashian wears a fucking piece of string around her ankle.
Yeah.
It probably costs you fucking 3 pence to buy, and you're
Yeah.
gonna charge them, and they'll pay for it.
Yeah, people will. Can you remember years
Got
and
some
years
magic
ago
beans in the car, James, if you're interested.
How much?
when eBay first started, there was a guy there was a little documentary on eBay, and because people weren't sure how it would work and what exactly it was, and they were trying to see if people could sell old rope. You know, they're saying, "Oh, you
yeah,
can't sell
yeah,
old rope,"
yeah.
and someone bought this guy's
Oh,
old
yeah.
rope,
Yeah.
and he literally sold old rope, and he made quite a
Not
bit of money off
surprised.
But if
it
you
as
go to
Surprised.
well.
garden centres, they have loads of aged rope and stuff like that, don't they? And you buy like a metre of it, and it's like
A lot of
15
aged people
15
selling it
quid.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Anyway, should we get into the conspiracy now?
Okay, this is
What is it? What is this
conspiracy
crazy conspiracy
corner.
then?
Welcome to Chris's Conspiracy Corner.
Well, this week, after speaking to, I was speaking to a colleague in work, had a really cool conversation actually, and going on from what we touched upon with Martin, I think the big one this week is going to be aliens.
Right, go on in.
Could we just have a little brief talk about Martin as well? I thought
Yeah.
Martin did a great job.
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
guys
he's
did a
good
great
guy.
job.
Nice bloke.
And fair play to coming on the show. I hope people enjoyed the podcast.
Yeah,
I
we
hope
had-
we encourage more people as well that want to come on and speak to us about whatever they want to.
Absolutely. We had open-minded.
Absolutely.
I mean,
We
myself and Ratty could make it, obviously, because we had to fit Martin in at a schedule that wasn't quite fitted for all of us. But, yeah, well done to Martin.
Yeah, he's
and
a
like
great guy.
anything in the future you want to bring up, mate, come back and we can hopefully all have a chat with you at the same time.
Yeah,
Just
great.
anyone that wants to talk to us, well, come on, isn't there?
Yeah,
We have
come
a really
on down.
cool conversation. I think in the future we Makes this really interactive, can't we?
But anyway,
So
aliens. Dun, dun, dun. So I think we should probably start. Roswell is probably the most appropriate place to start, wasn't it? So New Mexico, Roswell, where an alien spaceship was recovered, and this is the first sort of like time that actually a few days later then the American government came out and actually said that we have.
Yeah, initially they did report that it was an alien.
So when was this again?
It was. Let me get it up now.
They
So
did
1947, wasn't it?
So Roswell, 1947.
New Mexico, Roswell, just outside the big just outside the big air base. A farmer noticed that one night there was a thunderstorm. Something crashed on his land. The next day he went out there, and what he said, there was a craft that he didn't know what it was.
Weather balloon.
Well, this is it, isn't it?
They also say weather balloon, don't they?
Well, the army went out. The army went out there then. The next day they had a press conference and they said, "Yeah, we've got an alien. We've recovered an alien spaceship." It's a really infamous press conference. You can see in the guys that we recovered an alien. And the next day then they recounted that and said no, it was a weather balloon. Ever since that though, there's been lots of speculation that this is the.
I mean, I think a lot of people listening are familiar with the Roswell incident.
Yeah.
For you,
yeah.
Well, actually, I'll ask the question first. Do you think it was a UFO landing or crash?
I think there's something to it, isn't there? Why would the army come out and admit this? And not just that,
So what? So the army stated this is UFO.
Yeah. So the army actually came out, and I'll bring it up now. The army came out. U.S. Army confirms UFO Roswell. Sorry.
Typing away. Me and James just entertain ourselves.
I do.
Cue the elevator music.
But yeah, they came out then and they said that they'd recovered this thing. They came out and there's a really good book by what was his name? Corso, isn't it?
Yeah,
The Day After Roswell. It's a good book. I think I might have mentioned it before.
Yeah.
And this guy said he was put in charge then of reverse engineering. The technology that was found. It's called Philip J. Corso, who's in the American, and he comes out and he says since the crash, then they developed night vision. He said that he thinks that the aliens actually had landed because during the Second World War there was lots of speculation. The Germans had
they called them the Foo Fighters, didn't they?
The Foo Fighters were sort of spaceship that Allied and Russian sort of fighters were encountering when they were flying over. They believed that they were German Air Force planes, but the German Air Force were actually reporting them as well. So you're both reporting the same sort of thing.
Well, everyone's reporting, left, right, and centre.
It's interesting, because if you look at all these things and you look at, there's lots of evidence. I mean, what do you think, Jim?
I don't know. It's again. I mean, we discussed it on in the podcast about people, how they perceive information and how we all perceive it differently and all the rest of it. Again, what evidence is there? We have testimonies, but
I can say being abducted by aliens, couldn't I?
Yeah, we have testimonies. I mean, there was that material that was shown to us, like the weird kind of tinfoil material, but that could have been from a weather balloon.
Yeah. There was this weird thing. Was it Washington or Los Angeles? No, it was Los Angeles. The Battle of Los Angeles. Basically, right. So there was this. There's photos on it online. So do go and check it out. It's called the Battle of Los Angeles, where they claimed it was during the Second World War, and they thought initially it was a Japanese plane or object, didn't they? Yeah. And they were shooting it for ages, for about 50 minutes, I think it was.
Thousands of rounds. Yeah, like thousands and thousands of rounds.
But what happened, basically, they shot at it with like massive things. They couldn't shoot it down, whatever it was. And a lot of people witnessed it, like thousands of people in the city. It was a public spectacle. And basically, they were shooting it for ages. It never got shot down, but the government said it was a weather balloon.
And there's this
Yeah.
Wow.
Could it be technology which we?
Yeah,
have
this is-
mastered
I
up?
think-
I think undoubtedly, in Scotland there's a military testing base, and since like the 70s, people were reporting seeing
Yeah.
sort of triangular aeroplanes flying
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
So I
And it
think-
was a
yeah.
stealth bomber.
Yeah, that's
It was
right.
a stealth
yeah,
bomber.
Yeah.
So I do think actually sometimes it undoubtedly is
Because I really
human
think
technology.
that the army are just light years
Yeah.
ahead of us. In terms of
Absolutely,
technology.
they absolutely.
So I mean,
are.
anything like there was 20 years ahead of you in 1947. I mean, that's gonna seem like
Yeah.
alien.
Yeah,
isn't
mind
it?
blowing.
Do you know during the Second World War they were sending emails?
Yeah.
Do you know that?
I've heard that. Yeah.
So and then emails only came to the public sector.
Well, the
then.
internet was supposed to be developed.
Yeah, during the just after the
decades.
Second World War, That's like 60 years ago now.
Well, you
fucking
think about
huge.
drones, just on a basic level, drones, right? I've got a drone. We've used it for films and feature films and all sorts. And that's a great bit of technology, and you think it's quite incredible for me because you can supposedly fly at like 1.5 kilometers away from you, and it can do all this
what's to
stuff.
say these so-called UFOs are not very advanced drones?
Well, this is what I was
Yeah.
going to allude to.
I think
right?
a lot
You
of
look
them
at-
probably are,
You look at
actually.
military drones. They're flying them from. They got bases in America and they're bombing places in Iran and Iraq.
Oh yeah.
You think about the technology involved in that; it's insane.
There's a really good documentary on Netflix, and what it's about these drone operators that are carrying out like bombing runs. They're sat in an air-conditioned
Yeah,
office
yeah.
with a cup of
Yeah.
coffee in Las Vegas,
scary,
the military
innit?
base, and they're blowing up people like 2,000, in Iraq and Afghanistan and stuff like that. Think of that technology that we know about.
Deadly as well.
As I say, this guy Corso, who says he was reverse engineering all this stuff. After the war, and then he says, we developed fibre optic cables as a result.
Yeah.
We developed night vision. Did you know during the
Crazy.
Second World War, towards the end of the Second World War, the Germans actually had night vision technology?
I didn't know.
I wouldn't be
Very
surprised,
primitive
yeah.
night vision
Yeah.
technology, and they were saying this is why they think the Germans had got an alien aeroplane, and this is why the Germans were so advanced. If you think like aviation, what was it, just the end of the last century, 1800s, that they developed flight. Towards the end of the Second World War, Germans had essentially cruise missiles.
Yeah, they had jets as well, didn't they?
And if you look at the aeroplanes at the beginning of the war to the end of the war, it was rotary aeroplanes to sort of like
Jets.
Messerschmitts or something, to jet engine. They'd advanced, in what, 8 years?
They really had science.
Absolutely loved
Hitler was big into the science, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, they did a lot of horrendous testing on Jews and stuff.
Yeah, well, and twins and poor people and
Twins and
gypsies. mainly.
and who say they didn't dissect eyeballs so they work in the
Yeah.
night and all that kind of crap and develop technologies from that.
Yeah, the way I think it's the aliens, right? People always say, right, okay,
Go
then,
on.
well, if you were like my brother James, right, bring it back to him, he always says, if they're aliens, why do they always abduct the village idiots?
It's true.
Why do they always
do.
anally probe these idiots? And you
Some
kind
of
of
them friggin' need it, don't
but then
they?
you kind of think to yourself, if we found a different species, we would probably do tests on it.
when
and
we
would
test
do loads.
when we test on animals, we don't go for we just go for whatever animal we can grab, don't we? And
They do cocaine. They do tests of the effects of cocaine on freaking ants, Jim, and speed.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah, crazy.
it's phenomenal. Just on another thing, do you know, like LSD and stuff like that, sort of like speed and stuff? Do you know, during the Second World War, the Germans were giving it to their soldiers so they could
Yeah.
just continuously fight. So they give LSD trials for drugs for some of the soldiers, and they would literally be fighting for days and days and days. But the only problem is then they would literally just drop dead with exhaustion.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Anyway, going back to that, and after the Second World War, von Braun, so he's a German rocket scientist. He was he developed all the V2 rockets, so the ones that
Yeah, they all go and
cruise
work
missiles.
for NASA.
They all work
after,
for
don't
NASA.
Yeah, they all went
Yeah.
to work for NASA.
A lot
And
of
they
it.
put the first man to the moon, the first person in space was the Russians. And this guy, Corso, says that the Russians, was it Corso or was it, what's his name? What's his name? Phil Snyder, that says the Russians are shooting down like 30 alien crafts. So Phil Snyder, we've talked about him quite a few times. He's a guy that says he's a geologist and he was making deep underground military bases.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
He says that the Russians were shooting down like, I don't know if it was him or if it was Corso. The Russians are shooting down like 30 UFOs a week, and there's a massive dump, I guess you would say, in like Siberia, where all these crafts are just taken to and just worked on. I
30, that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot of UFOs, isn't it?
But imagine
A month?
how a month. How many?
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
fucking
Well,
massive
that was
amount.
true,
12 months,
And they
yeah.
were saying that, you know, we've now got the technology. It actually was Phil Snyder. We've got the technology to shoot these things down, you know. And Russians, the
30.
Americans, the Europeans. We've
360 a year.
But anyway, there was meant to be, and if you believe this, Eisenhower.
Oh, is this when he actually met the aliens
Yeah, so
and
in-
signed an agreement with them?
Apparently, in the early hours of February the 21st, 1954, while on vacation to Palm Springs, Florida, he was flown secretly to Edwards military base, and he met with the aliens, grey aliens, and he signed
Greys.
a treaty with them.
Oh, for exchanging technology.
Technology.
Written about that,
They
Jim.
can have. It is crazy. I mean, you look at some of these things.
Okay,
and,
right. Who's claimed it? What's the evidence for it?
this is it, isn't it?
None.
There's not
It's
Some
bollocks.
bloke.
But
That's
this-
like the
bullshit.
bloke down the
There's
pub, innit?
not
It's
going
like, oh,
to
if I
be
can sign
any
aliens.
written evidence.
How do they know?
Actually,
Where do they
that's
get it
not
from?
true. Who's that guy? That the British guy.
Pope.
The guy that was autistic and he hacked into NASA.
Oh, right, yeah, remember that
And
guy?
he said he got a hold of the files, and he said that there was
Non-terrestrial.
lists of terrestrial and non-terrestrial aliens.
No,
on
officers.
NASA's-
No,
yeah,
officers,
officers. Sorry, on NASA. But there's not going to be any official documents that we can get hold of, are there? To say, yep, this happened, this didn't happen.
Yeah, but again, like you know, conspiracies. People rely on people to keep it a secret, don't they? I
Yeah.
mean, and this is how they supposedly get out. Supposedly get out is by telling all. You know. I don't know. I mean, look, because these organisations are wrapped up in secrecy, obviously
Yeah.
for reasons of security, is the line we're fed.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you kind of look past that and go, well, no, it's not for security. It's actually because you're in touch with aliens.
Well, this is it. And there's a guy.
Plus also, why keep it a secret?
Well, there's people actually coming out now, high level people, aren't they? There's a guy called Paul Hellier.
Oh, was that the Canadian guy?
Canadian.
Yeah, so he was the
Minister,
former defence minister of
Yeah.
Canada, and he was in the UN. He was one of the highest ranking people in the UN. Who says actually at his time he was given lots of information about aliens and people had encounters and things like that. He didn't believe it, but he actually then said. Since he had the time, you know, he's very busy, of course, he couldn't have time to look for all these reports. Since then, he's looked at them. He actually does believe there's aliens. You know, he's heard things being said really high up. Bill Clinton actually says in his autobiography he believes in aliens. This is the president of the United States.
Yeah, but again, that says to me he believes in aliens. Doesn't mean that he believes that we've made contact.
But he's not. He would never, ever, ever in a million years be able to write. Yeah, I went to Area 51 or Area 52.
Yeah, but why
and I
even?
saw this.
Would you think he's met an alien or knows that it is definitely aliens? Bill Clinton.
I'm sure he would know if they
But
was.
why? If he's unwilling to divulge information, why even
He got
say?
fucking shot in the Swede.
Yeah, exactly. So
an
why
extra
say
mouthful.
that he believes in them?
Yeah, again, you know.
Why dance around that fire? Why
Yeah.
not just stay away from
But
it?
imagine if he came out and but he didn't, did he? He purposely didn't stay away from that. He went on to his autobiography, and in his own words, he said he believes in aliens.
Yeah, no, but he could. I mean, no one would scream conspiracy if he just said, "I don't actually believe in aliens." In fact, that would make sense.
Yeah, but that's it though. If he didn't believe in aliens, he wouldn't have to mention it, would he? But he has.
Yeah, but
He's
why
purposely-
mention it though? I don't.
Well, and this is it, and this is what lots of conspiracy theorists think. He's gone out, you know. You've got the Canadian defense minister coming out and say there's aliens.
Yeah.
There's this video on YouTube, isn't there, of Putin saying he's going to disclose.
Yeah.
There's actually unacknowledged, isn't there?
I think all these fucked up world leaders, right, who are unhinged mentalists. One of them would release something.
Well, lots of people have released things.
Because if
though,
they want
haven't
anarchy, yeah, no, I mean, like conclusive evidence.
I want anarchy.
But yeah, this is it. Have you seen Unacknowledged? Unacknowledged is the
Was that DVD?
No.
No, the film on Netflix.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I have.
So it's this thing on Netflix, and there's this doctor, and he's like apparently one of the
Stephen
leading
Greer.
experts. Stephen Greer, that's right, yeah. And he's gone out now, and he's got this
James
documentary,
He's an
and
arsehole.
apparently he's gone to the CIA. He's been asked to go to the FBI and the CIA to brief them on all the information he's got on aliens and things like that. And he says that lots of the military are actually.
Yeah, there was that disclosure project where those
That's right,
affidavits to
Yeah.
declare what they know and all
And
that.
loads of people have gone before Congress and said they believe that there's aliens. They've been involved in this. They've been involved in that. You know, you've got people like Phil Snyder that's come out with evidence. He's come out with technology. He said where the bases are. You know, he said, and
But nobody's managed to get the evidence.
yeah, but again though,
All those people, and
Hey, we did,
nobody's...
Jim. I had evidence, and I was freaking slagged
Thomas
off.
Radic-
You didn't have evidence of aliens. You had evidence of something you could understand flying
but if
across
if you think about it logically, right, we are
James, there's
intelligent.
aliens.
We're intelligent life forms.
Some.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Arguably, if you think of the whole cosmos, there's trillions and trillions and trillions of planets. We can't even comprehend. We don't even know. We know there's trillions and trillions.
Oh, there's absolutely life out there, but has it come to Earth? That's the big question.
I think it has.
Yeah.
And if you look at these things like prehistoric man and things like that, and they've drawn like pictures of
that's the
aliens.
bit that's
There's
quite
the Last
interesting.
Supper. Have you seen the picture of the Last Supper? Is it Leonardo da Vinci? Anyway, and there's pictures of like flying objects in the background. There's people like yes, the Last Supper.
But there's many natural phenomena that happen.
Yeah, there is.
Like there's that interesting one where through it's a refraction and the atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's videos you can see of what looks like cities in the sky,
Yeah.
and that is a natural phenomenon.
Yeah.
What
Now,
about,
if you live in biblical times, that's like a city in the sky.
it is.
Yeah, that's going to make your mind wonder. That's going to create these stories. And one thing which we can guarantee we all are is fucking huge storytellers.
Absolutely, we all are.
Our imaginations are massive.
Yeah.
But
And we
when-
kind of fill in the gaps. don't we?
when you look though to ancient civilizations when they talk about and they've got like things like carved into rock which looks like alien spaceships, which they talk in their sort of like things about people from the skies coming down and helping them build cities and giving them medicine and this and that. And this isn't one culture. This is all cultures. You know, and they talk about these things where they have these massive leaps in technology. I know we've talked about it before, where these people from with seemingly no way of communicating. They're developing technology at the same time. You've got people like the Mayan lines. Have you seen the Mayan lines? So in Maya, they've got these absolutely huge sort of like they appear to be runways in the middle of the desert, and these were made thousands of years ago. Landing strips, perfectly flat landing strips, made thousands of years ago. They've got these huge animals and pictures of people waving. Have you seen these, Tom? Put up the Mayan lines.
Jesus Christ.
Put it for James.
Mayan lines.
And they've got like huge like in the earth it's been like carved into the earth. Pictures of animals and things like that. Things that you couldn't appreciate by standing on the ground. These are hundreds of foot long.
Yeah, it's got big.
You'd have to be hundreds of foot in the air to actually be able to see it all.
Oh, yeah, it's an interesting.
It's amazing.
Yeah, there's a guy waving. He does look a bit. That's a bit crap.
No,
drawing,
but and you look at like even the Egyptians and things like that, and they talk about the sun gods, people coming down and helping them build things. And
what's that guy's name? The Chariot of Von Daniken.
Oh, Von Daniken.
And he wrote a
he's-
book called
he's-
Chariot of the Gods. And
Yeah, absolutely. No, there's lots of like hieroglyphic. With what looks like a helicopter, something looks like a
Yeah,
rocket,
it looks like a tank
something
and
looks
stuff
like
like
a
that.
space alien and all that kind of stuff like that. And
I
that's
just-
interesting.
But it could just, like we
It's
said,
not conclusive, is it?
It
though?
could be
It's not
coincidence,
conclusive,
innit?
but the only and it's like going back to this like the Sasquatch thing I was talking about in the Watcher project, where these guys went out and they're actually conserve. They want to protect Sasquatch, but they've said the only evidence that'll be accepted is if they one day kill a Sasquatch and bring it in.
Yeah.
See, now you mentioned before about this, about like ancient cultures also seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
I think it was the Joe Rogan podcast, and they mentioned the Gigantopithecus, or what it was called.
Yeah.
This actual creature that
there
used
was,
to
yeah,
live
yeah.
around the same time as early man. It was like an 8 to 10 foot tall
Yeah.
bipedal.
Which fits the description of a Bigfoot,
which fits the
doesn't it?
description. So
Oh, is it?
it probably did exist. Does it exist now? Though?
Yeah.
Again,
you think there's
though,
someone to see
But a
it.
lot of things we have immense memories built into our genetics, like,
Yeah.
and I think there's reason why like a baby would be afraid of a face of like a lion or something like that.
Yeah.
It just knows it just instinctually knows that it could potentially eat you. You know what I
Alfie
mean?
ain't afraid of lions. When you go lion, he goes rah.
No,
He's fighting back.
Yeah, he'll batter a
Bloody-
lion.
No,
Fight-
it's just,
fight by a
I
cougar.
think what it is, I love conspiracies, I love
Yeah.
aliens, I just...
Yeah, we need conclusive evidence. Well, hopefully we got a UFO group who were quite keen to come on the show.
Yeah, we'd love
so
to get them on
maybe
to have a chat with
one
them.
day.
But the thing is, though, what evidence would you need? You need an alien
Well, we
to
would
come
need
and
an alien
land
to
in your
walk in here now,
garden and
wouldn't
say,
you?
I'm an alien. But again, though, and if you...
Or a video that can be stood up as real and then testimonies and eyewitnesses to back up that
But if
that
you
video.
please watch and acknowledge, and they've got people that
Please,
are,
Jim.
yeah, and have a good read of that, because they've got people that are credible witnesses.
No,
They're
I've
like,
seen the Disclosure Project. A lot of generals.
Yeah.
that Paul Hellier guy.
I don't know about Paul Hellier. He's a
Yeah.
friggin'.
Well,
he
I
makes
mean,
big
the-
money. He makes big money now. You know,
Yeah,
taking
but
people in the
that's-
desert. You
well,
know
that's
that?
the thing.
Who's that?
That's
Paul Hellier. He's an ex ER doctor, really intelligent guy. But you'll know him. He's on all the documentaries about aliens and stuff. But I just think the whole cosmos. If you think life can exist on this planet,
Yeah, I agree. There's something
infinite
else.
number
Oh,
of
there's
planets.
something there. Absolutely, you'd be an idiot to go. There's not.
But I dislike it when
And if
people
there
go,
is
"Ah,
something
there's not."
there, I think they would definitely be
I just
interested
don't know
in
why
us.
they just don't say. And I hate hearing when people go, "Oh, the aliens want to help you understand that the world's a bigger thing and there's more to
But
life."
do you
And it's
think they
like,
would
well,
want to
stop
let us
fucking
know?
telling the morons. then.
Yeah.
Tell
Stop-
us.
stop
But
giving
I
the
don't think they
information to
have,
the
though.
fucktard morons who want to sell books.
Yeah.
And actually, and if you want these people to be the messenger, give them something more than just a fucking stupid backstory.
But this
give
is
them some evidence.
But this is what they've said. This agreement, this treaty with the aliens it was an agreement that they would, not tell the world yet. They will tell the world, but not yet, because they don't think that humans are able to manage that, and
No,
they think it'd be massive.
Isn't it more issues with the
Problems.
governments because the government would be
see-
obsolete then?
Right, that's all bollocks. That we're not ready for it. We see governments killing kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
freaking
yeah.
Right, we
bombing
see
little
mass
kids,
pollution,
yeah.
despair, hunger.
Yeah, yeah.
Real fucking hard shit. I'm not being funny. There's nothing else.
But-
If aliens come down, right, fine. I think we get. Oh my god, aliens! That would be
But
it.
do you think from
I agree
from
with
playing
what-
devil's
yeah.
advocate, if you were really powerful and stuff, if you were all powerful in governments
You
and
owned
stuff like
everything.
that, then the minute aliens turn up, their days are
Everyone-
done,
everyone's
they?
gonna be-
Like,
'cause
if
imagine
an
it-
alien
but
turned up
again,
now,
if
money
you-
would
if-
be obsolete, wouldn't
But the point is, right, some of these stories you hear about aliens, people often they kind of make it biblical,
Yeah,
almost.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I have had a message from the aliens, and they
Yeah.
said to spread peace and love, and they're looking
Yeah.
out for us.
I think they would, though. I think
but
they would be so
if
advanced,
that's
war
the
wouldn't be a
case,
priority
and they
for them
if they
anymore.
can travel the fucking cosmos to get here, right, they can tell Trump to go fuck himself
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
easily,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
give us the technologies we need to make sure
Yeah,
we're all
they just-
fucking living in harmony.
You're
and peace
quite
and
right.
love
This
and
is
all
the
that.
bit I
It's
don't
bullshit.
understand.
Absolute bollocks. It's fucking crap.
You don't believe in aliens, then?
It's bullshit.
You don't believe in
If
aliens?
there are aliens, they've not been here. And if there are
Yeah.
aliens, they don't. No,
That's my opinion. My opinion is I do think there's life on other planets,
I think there's
definitely, and I
aliens.
think
I
it's
do think that
naive to think
If
it's
there are
every
aliens
day.
and in cahoots with the government, they're massive cunts.
Yeah, they're idiots.
Well, I mean,
No, but either if they are
Yeah.
if they are intellectual beings,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
superior to us, so clearly they can't look at the absolute messed up situation this planet's on, and all
Yeah.
the corrupt governments who just frantically hovering around the nuclear fucking.
But how
button.
do you know they're not stopping more corrupt governments coming in place? How do you know that these people that are being, like,
Well, they must have a fucking. Well, if they're able to stop governments, they must have a benchmark then.
but yeah, but
Why not? Why not? Okay, if they are influencing governments, then
Yeah.
make ours better.
yeah.
But how do you know? Do you know?
Kick out the
Do you know,
Tories.
like, who was? I was reading another story the other day where some people a couple fell off a balcony in Las Vegas again.
Oh
As you do.
yeah, I
Who
saw
were
that.
they?
Ex-prostitutes, weren't they?
No, ex-Playboy people.
Oh,
they must have
yeah.
so much shit on like loads of people, and they just. Isn't it
Yeah.
funny how many people that have
Fall
got
off balconies,
quite
yeah.
fall off
Whoops.
balconies in America?
If you've done stuff,
Wear
just
a
don't go near a
seatbelt if
balcony.
yeah. But anyway, and how do we know these? Do you know when you hear about like a few years ago, it was an airplane with lots of Polish officials got just blown up, didn't they?
Yeah.
An airplane. Did it? How do we know though that wasn't the alien? I'm not. This is me just being stupid.
Well, again, coincidences.
Yeah, there's lots of coincidences there. A coincidence that they all happened to be on the same plane. The plane got blown up and none one of them
Well,
survived.
it can happen.
Yeah, it can happen.
The unfortunate reality, I think, is life is just a big ball of chaos.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
And you try and just
And
make
it's-
your way through
and-
it, don't you?
And we, as logical people, beings, we try and fathom it, we try and understand it, and we go mental. And sometimes it's just fucking hard luck or coincidence. And I know that sounds flimsy and you can't put it all down to, but I think it is. I think that's why we find it so difficult to fucking...
Yeah, I agree. I think that...
I want it to be aliens, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to nail my Curse of the Masters aliens.
I'd love it to be an alien species. I would love it.
Have you walked down Sea Road on a Sunday night?
Yeah, there's fucking plenty.
A million of them.
I do think there are aliens. Whether they're intelligent and stuff is different. I think
they'd have to be intelligent to come here, wouldn't they?
Yeah, if we're here sending probes all around the universe, then I think there's probably other people or other races doing something very similar. I don't think that life is only on this planet. We're not an exceptional planet. I think there are other planets, but whether they're
we know if it can
Star
happen
Wars
here, it can happen in other planets.
Yeah,
because it's happened here.
Absolutely.
We're walking around.
But are they
we're
here?
Breathing.
Yeah,
I think they would if they were
There's
advanced.
no evidence. There's no.
I think there is a lot of evidence that when we look at, like, if you believe in Colonel Corso, aviation. Where's all that come from? We've been around for thousands of...
Where did the wheel come from?
Hundreds of thousands. But the wheel was invented like 10,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Aviation was invented, 120 years ago?
But they were working on it, though. Look at Leonardo da Vinci. He was working on it.
Yeah, but again, how was that in the 1600s? So 400 years, you couldn't advance it.
Yeah, but again,
so within 20 years, we went from frigging wind-up aeroplanes,
Yeah, but again, how do we know when the military... they keep a lot from us.
Yeah.
Napoleon Bonaparte had hot air balloons.
Sometimes...
Yeah, I'm not doubting that.
Sometimes
Bonaparte. Did I say dynamite? No. Napoleon Bonaparte had hot air balloons. Do you know that?
No.
Napoleon Bonaparte, they had hot air balloons, yeah.
Well, there we go. I mean, but that's the thing, I think sometimes it takes a bit of time to get from A to B. I mean, you can get so far with what you know, and then it takes a groundbreaking scientific... discovery to then progress to the next thing.
Absolutely, they had computers since the 50s, and look at them now. Look at our phones.
Oh, yeah.
We're so powerful now.
We're looking at.
But one interesting thing I was reading the other day about this, and we say about people making observations and things like that. Yeah. There was this ship, and it was like 17. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. It was like 1760s or whatever, and it was a British ship, and it was going around the Caribbean, and they were saying they were being followed by a craft. These aren't stupid people. They use the moon. They know what a star is. They know what the moon is. They were being followed for days, day and night, by a craft. And they were saying it was metallic, and it seemed to be intelligent. It was it wasn't within guns.
I've never read that. I'll read about that.
I'll bring it up and I'll put it on the Facebook page.
Yeah, that's
and
quite
things like
interesting.
that. Then how could that be explained? They're not stupid. These are intelligent sailors. They know the earth. They look at the sky all day. That's how they get around the world.
Maybe when they were down there, they visited our rum factory and all went absolutely mental.
Hammered.
They got loads of Legendaro and just
that
went
guy
ballistic.
They were speaking to, weren't they? And he obviously sent him an email or something, and he's like, "Friggin' cheap rum down here. Get it before you."
$3, and they all
but
went
again,
ballistic.
that happened, and that's not an isolated incident. There's lots of pilots and things like that come out, and they say, they're pilots. They're trained observers. They know what an aeroplane is. I don't doubt some of it is.
I've had tower communications between aircraft and the tower, and they discuss all types of they can identify flying objects, and that's bizarre and weird. These pilots who have been flying for years and years, they see things which they can't explain, and that is interesting because you would you're up in the sky all the time. You're probably going to know a lot of things that are up there, but when you come across something which you can't quite explain, that's very intriguing. But it's that when it's called the UFO, it's an unidentified flying object. We fill in the blanks then.
Nick Pope. Do you know Nick Pope?
Yeah,
He's
the British.
The British sort of like
MI5 guy.
Yeah, MI5 guy. He was involved in exploring UFO sightings, and he said 95% of the things that came in, he was able to explain. He was, it was misidentification. Secret government technology,
stuff, most of it's
drones,
probably
drones that if you think drones that we were using 20 years ago that we only know about now, but there's the 5% where actually they can't explain it, they don't know what it is, they've checked all their information, information we don't know what they've got, and they still can't.
And they think about 5%, right? You see how many planes have just been flying over this morning. 5% of a lot of stuff in the sky. That's a
Nice
lot, isn't it?
Dreamliner flew over this morning.
Didn't it?
Chris, to get off the anorak.
Oh, God. Get all
Yeah.
tingly.
As I said, it's one of these things. It's one of these things. I said. I think there is intelligent life form in the universe, whether they're flying around, probably.
Yeah.
But if they come here,
I've got to say,
I dunno.
guys, this one, my conspiracy. Normally, I don't agree with what I'm saying. I'm putting my nail to the mast. I believe in aliens.
He's
I
nailing
believe
his
that
colours
they're
to the
here.
mast,
I believe that we're in contact with them. I believe that we have been for thousands of years. I believe they've helped us out. I believe
Not
that.
fucking very well.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
you dropped the ball here.
I
Think
think
of all
that-
these massive fiascos, wars.
But
Yeah.
maybe they've
But
agreed
that
not to
happens
get
on
involved.
Yeah,
you know?
that happens on other planets as well, doesn't it? When you have like
Yeah, but we are so dumb, and I think
Yeah.
if we could just realise that money and God is bullshit,
I
that and
but
we can
maybe-
replace
but
that
maybe
with
these-
technologies, and we can all realise that this scarcity is a tactic.
Yeah.
I absolutely
Abundance
agree with
is
that, yeah.
massive. We can make this work.
But
we
imagine
just need to have the technology in place to do it, and also the education, education in social issues.
education.
No, honestly, social issues, philosophy, learning how to think, all these things which a far superior race could help us do.
Yeah.
And they have clearly the means to do it if
Yeah.
they exist, and they don't
My
because they want a war.
my opinion on this is that actually the reason why the government doesn't tell people about it, and they've got these again. You look at these treaties like the what is it, the Antarctic Treaty and things like that. No one's going
no one
there
has to fall off the edge.
Yeah.
for whatever it is, and you look at these things. Imagine an alien spaceship landed out there now,
Yeah.
straight away. These electrical companies, these power companies, we wouldn't need them anymore.
Good.
Governments, we would say, wait a minute, fuck
too
you,
much.
Yeah, but
government.
that's the thing. But that's the thing. So if these aliens exist, they're just as corrupt as the governments. Because these aliens...
Well, I don't know if I would say
no,
they're
but they
corrupt.
must be, because they would be saying to these governments, you don't need all this shit. Everybody can have whatever they want and
Who's
need to
that guy?
survive, and a better life. Let's free everybody up from the shackles of their bullshit job and fucking propaganda war machine that's going on.
I hope they come soon because that'd be
I got
great.
I got a massive bloody thing
No.
coming in soon.
But in it though, I mean, why keep it a secret?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I don't know, but they,
Unless they really respect and love the 1% that are ruling everything.
yeah, but
Which makes them, they're complicit.
we've talked about Charles Hall in the past, and what he says is that actually the aliens like come to Earth and they see it as a bit more of a sort of like a holiday destination
Vegas.
where they like to observe humans and stuff like that.
What a misery.
And
Thanks.
again, and again though, we and
But think about it though. Think about it.
Yeah.
Observe us, what?
Yeah.
Fucking each other over?
But we do that. We do that with animals, don't we? When we see animals, like there was this amazing documentary on a few months ago, and there was this lion pack, and they were and there was like a pack of 5 dominant lions, which doesn't happen in nature that often. It's maybe 1 or 2, but there's a family of them, and they absolutely annihilated the whole population.
Yeah.
And we all sat back and watched it.
Yeah, but there's no lies being told. That's pure nature.
Yeah.
Isn't it? There's
But
no propaganda. That's just nature.
yeah.
With us, we're being manipulated. If we were allowed to be us
But
and
is that
free,
natural though?
that?
Animals manipulate each other. The weakest get
Yeah,
manipulated.
to a
don't they?
degree, but this is more so like it's like an
It's like social
imprisonment.
engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah,
isn't it?
this is proper orchestrated engineering.
But if you look at like monkeys and sort of gorillas and things like that, the least intelligent monkeys and gorillas, the least strong gorillas and monkeys, they're the workers, they're the idiots. You look at bees and things like that. The ones that aren't as, they're the ones that do all the work, and then you have the queen bee sitting there, give me my honey, bitch.
delegating it.
And you
Yeah,
do
no,
with
to-
monkeys
no,
and
to
give me the
society.
honey.
Yeah, but this is on a bigger scale. And plus,
It is
we
because
are
we're more sophisticated. We can express ourselves, can't we?
We are very articulate. We're
Some of us.
thinkers with philosophy.
Yeah.
We are above the. That's why we're in here in this building. We've built and talking into microphones. You know what I mean? We
This
are
bunker.
far superior. It's just we are in a way being treated like fucking animals.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, that's
So
my...
tall whites, grey aliens, get your
Yeah.
fucking asses down here.
Yeah.
And
don't
stop
do it
me
before
having
the
to pay
beginning of the
massive bloody energy bills, for Christ's
fuck.
sake, man.
Actually, we had money back from Swaylock.
Oh, did you? How much?
Yeah, we had only
Cha-ching.
150.
It's a lot of money,
No,
isn't it?
no, but I spoke to the guy on the phone. He said, fair play. He goes, we had a big winter and you managed to save money. He goes, you got one of the best accounts I've ever seen.
No way.
Oh.
Mine went up. Bastards.
Boom. Yeah, mine went up as
But
well.
anyway, that was good. I enjoyed it. And yeah, if the UFO guys want to come on, please come on. We want to have a chat. I'm with you.
So,
Let's convince you.
God, Chris will come with his tin hat on.
couple of things then.
I
Did
will.
you hear Yanny or Laurel? Or who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
And
definitely
aliens,
Yanny.
real or not? Let us know in the group. Let us know on
Yeah.
Twitter.
And
Let
And if
us
you're going to
know.
go cycling, make sure there's
Yeah.
no cougars around.
Yeah.
With a
All
bulletproof
the
vest.
animal cougars.
Yeah, don't go rubbing meat on your shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Set off. All right, guys, so that's us done. You can get us on Lad Chat Podcast at yahoo.com. That's our email. Send
Train
us
by
an email.
day, podcast by night.
Get us on Twitter for Lad Chat Podcast, Instagram, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Okay, till next time. Goodbye.